You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up to a few more lingering showers and weak thunderstorms on the radar. Things are looking better hour by hour. What you're waking up to this morning and where we go for the rest of Memorial Day coming up in your forecast.
Well, it's a busy morning here on Fox 17 News. Here's some of the top stories we'll be discussing as part of the United States is once again picking up the pieces, and that includes right here in the mid-state. After a series of powerful storms that left a trail of destruction in their wake, plus a stealing streak has ended for a pickpocket. There's a couple actually that's doing this, targeting patrons at a downtown bar. We've got more information on the suspects. Plus, it's Memorial Day. Coming up, we're going to take a closer look at some of the holiday's true meanings and how you can commemorate it. Well, thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland, just after 4 o'clock here on your Monday morning. It is Memorial Day.
I initially heard the crack. And with it being more in the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch. And I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall in my house.
Several storms have been firing up all weekend long across the United States. High winds whipping through many areas right here in Middle Tennessee, and that includes out in Robertson County. I want you to take a good look at your screen here as we show you some of that damage that happened out there just before 10:30 on Sunday. You can see it's still a big mess as large trees came slamming down on top of the roads and on top of homes. Even in one case, we're going to be taking a look at all the severe weather damage throughout the mid-state throughout the morning. But right now, we've still got a few rumbles of thunder out there and a light show in the sky. Let's get over to Greg Bobus. He's got a look at the radar and your latest forecast.
That we do, Justin. Very active overnight when it came to a lot of thunder and lightning. People reaching out on social media and texting me saying, oh my gosh, lots of thunder. The lightning show was incredible in many areas, especially about 3-4 hours ago. I've got good news here. This is brand new as we start off with you here at 4 o'clock. All of our tornado watches have been canceled. I'm still watching a few areas down in our southeastern counties. Think Franklin County, Moore County. We could potentially see 1 or 2 stronger storms bubble up in the next hour. If we get through 5 o'clock and we don't see any additional stronger activity, we're going to go all clear for code red and we're done. Everyone north of I-40, you've been in the all clear most of tonight, or I should say last night into this morning. Really, the only cause for concern will be down in that far southern tier of counties because there are still some strong to severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings that are in northern Alabama, and some of that influence can occasionally give you a little bit of a push to make a stronger storm or two. Let's take a look, though. We have some showers that are out there. Lightning indicator turned on. None of that anymore for most of us. Mount Pleasant, some decent, moderate rainfall. Lawrenceburg and the light rainfall right now. You've had some wind gusts in the last 3 hours up to 60 miles per hour. That has died down. The more moderate rainfall moving in about 20 minutes from right now. This was a very quick moving storm system. In the last 4 hours, it started and cleared most of Middle Tennessee. Now we're just regular showers on the backside of this. Everything top left-hand side of your screen to the bottom right-hand side is the trajectory. No additional severe weather is expected if you are anywhere north of the Alabama state line. Here's the last 24 hours, and boy, did it get active very early yesterday morning. I was walking through a few tornado warnings that went through Trigg, Todd, Christian counties, Robertson County, Sumner County, a lot of the areas where we saw the damage reports. In the afternoon, we re-racked, went through it again. More showers and thunderstorms that moved through early afternoon. We caught a little bit of a break, and then we had the overnight action as well. There were 2 tornado warnings overnight, one in southern Decatur County and one in far southeastern Franklin County, right along that Alabama state line. But the severe threat is ending. Weaker thunderstorms could possibly be out there. A few more rumbles this morning can't be ruled out. Calm pattern sets up for the rest of this week. In the next check of the forecast, we'll keep finding where the showers are at here across Middle Tennessee. We'll also look at a very docile 7-day forecast compared to last week. We've got it easy starting later on this afternoon.
All right, let's talk about what's happening in your voice and your vote. So we want to hear from you. And of course, you can take a look at all of the viewer photos and videos from the recent storms and submit them online at fox17.com and click chime in. That is where you can make your voice heard as far as the weather out there if you've got any damage to show. Now let's take a look at your steer clear traffic. This is going to be the very latest look here at I-40 at Charlotte. This is where you can find traffic is moving along, despite the fact we do have a jackknife tractor trailer that we cannot really see in this picture. If they zoomed out a little bit, you can see it right to the top in the right-hand side of your screen. That's been with us since around 2:20 this morning, so part of the interstate is shut down. Also in the other side of the lane, that westbound lane coming in, we do have some, I'm not sure if it's an accident or some type of road deterioration that's taking place. Unsure exactly what's going on. They do have a couple of lanes blocked over there, though. So I-40 at Charlotte in both directions going to be held up for one reason or another. We are expecting lighter traffic than normal. No major delays, even with this out there this morning. You can't get by. We'll continue to follow things for you. By the way, Charlotte Avenue is a good way to steer clear of all of this. Well, one man has died after a crash on I-24. 22-year-old Matthew Arvelo was sideswiped while he was on his motorcycle and trying to pass between two cars. This happened on I-24 East between Bell Road and Haywood Lane just around 6:30 on Saturday evening. Matthew died at the scene. Police say he was wearing the proper headgear and riding gear for motorcycles here in Tennessee. The investigation is ongoing.
I feel like we're heartbroken because we never expected it to be us.
One family is continuing to call for answers after the death of a Fort Campbell soldier. The big reward that's being offered for anyone who can help. Plus, spreading the message of hate. Police make an arrest after a year worth of investigation into hate symbols popping up on homes across the city. Plus, we are in a code red weather alert this morning as storms continue to move out of Middle Tennessee. We will have the very latest on that code red weather update with Greg Bobus when we come back.
Code Red Alerts from Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather.
Let's take a look at where things are right now. According to NES, they've made some progress. Right now, they've got around 2,032 customers who are currently without power. That's as of the last 3 minutes or so. The power outages are really scattered all over the city. There's really no one area that's seeing the bulk of the outages. They've got outages everywhere from West Nashville all the way to the Antioch area. So just no matter where you are, we're seeing this. We are seeing large clusters of people without power. Forest Hills, a large amount of people without power. That's down in the Nashville Village area. It would seem that was without power there. Hundreds of customers. This is South Nashville there near Green Hills. Also, large amounts of people without power along Hillsborough Pike. We'll continue to follow things for you. Well, as we told you earlier, many parts of the mid-state are going to be cleaning up. This is after strong winds and rains caused some major issues for a lot of people, especially over in Robertson County. Fox 17 News, Peyton Muse live for us up there to take a look at a large tree that's still blocking not just the road, but also a person's home.
That's right, Justin. And when you talk about issues, I mean, this is a large issue right behind me. Take a look at this massive tree that came down from yesterday's storms. Now, this is covering about half of the road, maybe a little bit more than half of the road. And there is a home that is behind the tree. I kind of walked behind the tree to take a look and see if we could see parts of the home. I couldn't see anything, so I'm hoping once it gets lighter out that we'll be able to get a better idea of just some of the damage here. But yesterday's storms, you know, surveyors, they have to come out and assess the damage, so it's going to be a few days before we even know exactly or have any kind of clue as to how much damage these winds from the storms caused yesterday. But as you can imagine, again, this massive tree blocking the roadway here in Springfield, and that is what we're dealing with and what we're seeing right now. So as we're able to get more information, we'll be sure to bring that to you. Reporting live in Springfield, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much.
This is a Latina. This is a young lady that signed on the dotted line to serve our country. And that is where our focus is at today. We want to know what happened, who did it, and we want to make sure that person or people are brought to justice.
An update this morning as a desperate family more than doubles down in trying to find who killed their daughter, who was a Fort Campbell soldier. Now, Clarksville police discovered the body of 23-year-old Private First Class Katia Dunez Aguilar. This happened last Saturday inside of her apartment. Now the soldier's mother is offering $55,000 for information that could help solve the answers in this investigation. Advocates say her death echoes the 2020 murder of Army Private Vanessa Gillian, killed by her military boyfriend. Now, Katina's mother says that she believes the person responsible may also be in the military, even though police have not come to that conclusion.
I don't know, but they have reason looking because she's not the first one.
Obviously,
the problem is inside. It's inside. It's not outside. Everything is inside. They know, and you know too.
The family is now calling for a congressional investigation into their daughter's homicide.
Coming up in your Code Red forecast, the time right now is 4:13 and we have dropped all tornado watches, everything weakening as we speak. How long will finally settle back into a calm pattern? Coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic showing us our first images of that jackknife tractor trailer on I-40 near Charlotte Pike in West Nashville. On the other side of the road, we've got major debris blocking several lanes. We'll give you the details when we come back.
The champions.
4:15 is the time in your community this morning. A suspect is wanted for spray painting hate messages on Nashville homes. Has now been captured. This is after a year's worth of investigation into the vandalization of multiple homes. Now, you may remember we first told you this story back in March of last year. Two people wearing masks captured on a Ring camera, spray painting a home over in Sylvan Park that's in West Nashville. In total, 5 homes were vandalized. Metro Police say they've arrested a 19-year-old from Alabama who's now facing multiple charges. A second suspect has not been found. We'll keep you up to date as more information becomes available.
Took a major hit. There's not much left of it, as you can see.
Well, that was the scene there as residents continue to pick up the pieces, and other folks have died as a result of a tornado that tore through Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas on Saturday night, leaving behind a path of destruction and lots of power outages. You can see some of these images back here behind me from across several areas in the United States. This is all the aftermath after a lot of different storms hit parts of the U.S. In Texas, in the meantime, we know at least 7 people have died over in Cook County, that is very close to the Texas-Oklahoma border. Now, the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, declared a state of emergency for 106 different counties. That is more than a third of all the counties in the state of Texas. So the question is, what can we expect right here in the Mid-State as we continue to follow the severe weather that is now pushing out? Is that right, Greg?
That is very true, yeah. Now it's what are we waking up to compared to yesterday, and kind of where are those spots where we saw damage? Did we or did we not see tornadoes in portions of southern Kentucky and far northern middle Tennessee? There are a lot of answers now that we have to figure out, but right now the biggest question was, what are we going to do later today? Well, we're going to get rid of the rain very quickly. Severe weather, well, that's not going to be a thing we have to worry about here through about 5 o'clock this morning. I still want to watch a few counties right near our Alabama state line. If we don't see anything else pop up, we're going to be all clear. We're going to go from code red back to all green and all blue lights in the studio here starting at 5 o'clock. I'm very optimistic we're going to make that push going at 5 o'clock. Taking a look here, future track, taking our way through the rest of this morning. There are still a few areas of concern. Again, we're talking mainly in Lincoln County, where we had a tornado warning earlier today, and Franklin County as well. That was right around the same time, around 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing that we've actually seen in terms of damage reports in those areas just yet, but the rest of today, just busted out some sunshine later on, but also keeping it a little bit muggy. This is the last muggy day we're going to have the entire week. Humidity drops off significantly. Temperatures will be in the low to middle 80s starting tomorrow. So today is that flip-flop day. We'll be at 86 degrees this afternoon with the humidity dying down hour by hour. And as these numbers go down, we're going to see our pollen counts go up. So the allergies come back by the end of the week, but the humidity will not be there. And your car might be a little bit messy from the last couple of days, especially if you're parked outside or been driving around. Today, I wouldn't get a car wash. Still standing water. A lot of our river levels still haven't even gotten to their place where they're going to be at their peak just yet. So standing water, definitely a possibility, but your Tuesday and Wednesday looking much better. We'll say green light for both days. A great pattern ahead Tuesday through Friday, and we have calmed down in the Nashville area. No visibility issues, no strong wind. Again, though, watch out for those areas when it comes to any cause for concern with standing water. 86 degrees is your temperature this afternoon, 84 tomorrow. Then low to middle 80s continue Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. A few showers and storms possible this weekend, which we'll keep our eyes on when we get a little bit further into this week. But just know right now, we're not worried about any big outbreaks like this past weekend or any days that'll be a washout. Really, the second half of your Memorial Day does trend fairly nice compared to the last several days.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's get you out and about over to West Nashville. This is going to be a live look here at I-40 at Charlotte. As you can see, traffic there moving along really nicely, despite the fact that we've got a couple of different things happening. Over on one side of the interstate, we've got a tractor trailer that is jackknifed. They've got some crews there on the scene right now trying to deal with that, trying to get that tractor trailer straightened out. In the meantime, they've shut down 3 lanes because of it. On the other side of the road, we've got debris. Now, I'm unsure where the debris is from, but I find it hard to believe it's not related to this crash with the tractor trailer. So again, multiple lanes on both sides of I-40 near Charlotte shut down right now. Traffic can get by. It is not causing major delays only because of how light traffic is this morning because of the holiday. So if this was a normal rush hour day, this could be a major tie-up. The other thing we've been following is this crash on I-65 near Armory on the south side. Also not causing major delays, just something to be aware of. If you want to steer clear of this drama out west, I would try to take Charlotte Pike as the best way to get around it there in West Nashville. Other than that, we're doing okay. No major delays getting to the airport this morning. We're also looking good. We're going to take a closer look at some of the other drives and include a closer look at this one here in West Nashville, again along Charlotte, coming up in a few. Well, take a look at this, the pea-sized hail piling up on the front steps of Katie Lee's home. This is in Trinity Park in Franklin. Thank you, Katie, for sending these photos in and these videos in to us. We'll take a look at your other weather photos throughout the morning. At Fox 17 News is in a code red weather alert. As we are watching the storms push out of Middle Tennessee and things are going to clear up. The question is, how warm is it going to be today? Greg Bobus has got the details coming up in a full forecast. Plus, you can watch the forecast on the side and bottom of your screens. Traffic updates is there as well. We'll be right back.
9000.
.24 is the time. Let's take a look at a big story that's happening right now from Johnson City, Tennessee, that there's a guy who played more than 200 holes of golf on Friday, and he did it to raise money for veterans.
3 years ago now, I came up with a crazy idea to try to do 100 holes of golf in one day. It was a long shot, and here we are today trying to go for 225 holes.
Well, that is Jeremy Beechner. Says this is all for a good cause. He raised money for multiple programs to help veterans with their mental health through golf. Right now, his organization, PGA Hope, is still accepting donations to help veterans. Well, check this out. A drone light show will be taking place today. This is the Todd Needham Nursery that is bringing this show to Mount Juliet as a way to pay tribute tonight. Event coordinators will begin launching drones coming up at 9 p.m. This will take place at 665 South Mount Juliet Road. The best viewing for the drone show is expected to be just south of I-40 along Mount Juliet Road. All right, let's get to the forecast. Greg Boba standing by with a look at storms moving out of here.
That we are. Yeah, we had a very active day yesterday. Look at this time lapse here on your screen. We were tracking storms in the morning. We had a few thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings very early in the morning. Then the rain moved back in for the afternoon. We snuck in a little sun later in the day, and that led to the storms that we had overnight. It's been a very dynamic 72 hours here across Middle Tennessee, but the good news is we're turning off the dynamic atmosphere and getting things a little more settled as we speak. We've dropped all watches and warnings when it comes to severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. Nothing on the radar that we cannot handle that is not just run-of-the-mill rainfall right now. Not even seeing much when it comes to lightning. Still some decent showers, though. We've got 1 or 2 strikes of lightning in the Lawrenceburg area and some moderate rainfall. That's the yellow coloring here. Lewisburg, Cornersville, we get out toward Fayetteville. You got some showers now. You get a break for about 10 minutes, and then we'll pull in with a little bit more rain activity in the next 20 minutes. This is going to, again, be a very calmer radar picture than we saw overnight. The thunder probably woke you up. The lightning show was there. We had some small-size hail. We had some wind. Now we're seeing all those things slide down to our south and our east, thankfully. One other area we're watching, Tullahoma down through Winchester and all the way down toward the Alabama state line. Again, a few more rumbles of thunder, and this was the one cause of concern for us here and why we're still code red just for the 4 o'clock hour. At 5 o'clock, we're going to go blue lights and say we're good for the rest of today. Just a few more showers and weak storms that are ending. 86 degrees this afternoon for Memorial Day. Warm and a little bit muggy to start the day. The mugginess kind of knocks off a little bit toward the late afternoon hours. We'll look ahead to a very calm period. How many sunny days in a row can we stretch together before our next rain chance? We'll let you know in a few minutes.
Stay clear traffic takes us out to I-40 in West Nashville. This is going to be I-40 at Charlotte. We are dealing with 2 separate things. On one side of the road, we've got a jackknife tractor trailer that's been with us since around 2:20 in the morning, and crews are working to remove that. Small delays, but not really big ones as you get out. If you're making your way into town on the other side of the road, we've got debris all over the road. They're shutting down at least 2 lanes in that area. You can get by. You can get by in both directions there, but there could be some slight slowdowns, especially once more people get on the road. You can take Charlotte Pike as the best way to steer clear. We are following other things across town. That includes this crash at I-65 at Armory Drive there on the south side. Again, you can get by, not causing major delays. We'll continue to watch things out there on the roads. Keep in mind they are wet. In the high cost of homelessness, Fox 17 News investigating how city leaders spent $50 million worth of pandemic dollars earmarked to help Nashville's homeless crisis. That is the largest ever investment made for the city of Nashville to address homelessness. But according to data from the Office of Homeless Services, chronic homelessness is up by almost 76%. The Salvation Army received $4.5 million to aid with temporary housing, but this has not been an easy process.
I know some of the nonprofits, the challenge is having enough staff and personnel at these types of sites. Do you feel like that's been a challenge and you've been able to address that, or?
Staffing is absolutely a challenge for a number of reasons. One big challenge is the wear and tear that it takes on an individual. This is intense work, and dealing with vicarious trauma is a lot to bear on shoulders.
Well, coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chen will take a hard look at how the city is handling homelessness and whether or not the money is really making a difference. The flags will be flying in Mount Juliet today as we commemorate Memorial Day. We're going to take a look at how heroes of the military are being honored.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Taking a look at the storm damage. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll hear just what a homeowner went through.
Waking up this morning, thankfully, with the storms ending for us here, a much more calm pattern settles in. We're not quite done with the rain yet. We'll track what's out there and look ahead to the end of our code red weather for the foreseeable future.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Charlotte Pike on the west side. You can see traffic being held up in both directions. We've got 2 different problems. We're going to break it down for you coming up in a few. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 here on this Monday, May 27th. It is Memorial Day, and I'm Justin McFarland. We are continuing our Code Red weather coverage across Middle Tennessee. Murfreesboro, one of the communities getting absolutely pummeled with hail on Sunday afternoon. You can see some of that video that was sent to us by our viewers. Thank you so much. Showing quarter-size hail, some reporting even larger than that. This video taken by Jennifer Parody. Thank you for sending us this video, Jennifer. And we're going to continue to watch the storms thankfully start to move out as we get to Greg Bobus now, who's been watching the storms all night.
Yeah, all night, really all weekend. We had round after round, and now we're finally done. So what's on the radar that we'll look at throughout this morning, it's just kind of the leftovers. Just a few more showers. You might hear a rumble of thunder. The severe threat, though, has ended, and now we're just talking about those lingering showers and storms and what that means for the morning, because we had so much water overnight, a lot of very heavy rainfall, that now it's going to start finding all the streams, creeks, rivers, and ponding on areas, especially roadways that just don't have a lot of good drainage. So we'll have to watch out for those areas. Calm pattern is ahead, though. This afternoon, we dry out completely, and then we'll stay that way for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Great news here waking up at 4 o'clock. We had everything canceled when it came to our tornado watch that we had overnight. We slowly chipped away counties as those storms moved through, and now we know that we're in the all clear for any possible rotation. There are still some areas in northern Alabama that have had some tornado warnings in the last couple of hours, but that is all moving away from us. Here's our current radar. South of I-40, still some showers and weak thunderstorms. The Tullahoma area, Winchester, Lawrenceburg, we're seeing a few of those that are out there. But everywhere Nashville on north, we've been dry for a little while. We're going to keep it that way. But that doesn't mean the roads aren't going to be wet, though. Those scattered storms have led to some areas of some ponding, and still are a few pockets of rainfall out there. It's caution. We're not adding anything else to the problems that we're going to have this morning, but the rain that we had overnight still has not, again, found all those low-lying areas to start off. We're at 65 degrees, 86 degrees coming up later on this afternoon. The good news is we'll be on the drier side, and that's very good for folks waking up in Robertson County. And that's where we have Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse, who is out there looking at some of the damage we had from storms early yesterday. Peyton, good morning. What are you seeing?
Good morning, Greg, and I'm sure you all can see this massive tree behind me. I'm just going to step out of the frame so you all can take a closer look. It's still here. This came down yesterday, and it snapped from one side. It actually was sitting on the other side of the road, and the tree snapped and fell on this side of the road. Actually, it is on top of someone's home, blocking the roadway here. Now, Anna Wingington tells Fox 17 News she knew that this was coming. The only thing she could do was pray to the man upstairs. Thankfully, her and her pets made it out safe and sound.
I initially heard the crack, and with it being more of the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch, and I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall in my house. And then I saw it coming and just ran away from the window, and my pets all scattered, and then it hit the house, and I just expected the bedroom ceiling to fall in, and it didn't.
Now, again, the road cleared up a little bit because they have some of the pieces of the trunk cut up on the other side of the road, and when it gets a little lighter, we'll show you what that looks like. And again, they have to still, insurance and NWS will have to come out here and assess the damage. So we'll keep you up to date on all of that as soon as we get more information. Reporting live in Springfield, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much. Let's get to your steer clear traffic this morning. Let's go out to the very latest happening there on I-40. That's at Charlotte. That is over in West Nashville. This is as you are heading out towards Bellevue. We have got a tractor trailer that's blocking at least 2 lanes of traffic as you head out there. It's been with us since around 2:20 in the morning. On the other side, as you make your way inbound, we've got debris all over the road. So Metro Police have got their hands full along with TDOT trying to deal with this. The best way to steer clear is using Charlotte Pike. It is not causing major delays because there's really light traffic out there. That's the only reason it's not causing major delays. Other than that, this would be a major problem. You could try to take Charlotte Pike, as I mentioned, in order to steer clear. We do have other accidents out there, including one near Armory, and we're dealing with one more near I-24 at I-440. We're going to get to some of those coming up in a few. Well, today is the day where we honor America's heroes. Today, soldiers who died while serving in our country are remembered with Memorial Day. Now, our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live this morning out there near Mount Juliet. That is where for the last several years they have set up the healing field. It is a field of 300 flags that they have set aside. Each flag represents an individual story. The display raises money for community programs and charities. The healing field is scheduled to be up there. Today is their last day. They've been out there since May the 23rd, and today is their last day to be out there. Again, that is in Mount Juliet. Well, if you are hoping to check out the grand opening of Morgan Wallen's bar this weekend, you are out of luck. We'll explain why his name did not go up in lights as planned. Plus, Fox 17 News continues our Code Red weather alert. About an hour ago, you could see lightning on these cameras scattered across the Middle Tennessee sky, but things are calming down. Greg Bowes will have details when we come back.
Fox 17 News, Code Red weather.
Your first line of defense.
An update this morning as Morgan Wallen's new bar on Broadway, called This Bar and the Tennessee Kitchen, did not open this Memorial Day as originally planned. This comes on the heels of a Metro Council meeting that voted down allowing the venue to hang a very large neon sign outside the bar. The owners of the TC Restaurant Group say that opening a 6-story venue is a very complex process, and they need a little bit more time to make sure that guests will have the best experience possible. They say they look forward to opening the bar doors very soon. Now, Morgan Wallen's brand new bar is tucked away just off of Broadway over on 4th Avenue North. You can see it right there, we are told. There on 4th Avenue. Here is Broadway. That is 4th right there where you would make that turn. Bridgestone Arena and places like that would be further down here on 5th. To read more about the story, you can check it out, and there's plenty to read there on our website at fox17.com. Search Morgan Wallen.
Taking a look here at your forecast, and we're continuing our Code Red weather alert until 5 a.m. Was monitoring a few areas down toward the Alabama state line that could have seen the possibility of 1 or 2 more stronger storms, and now we're looking really good. So all the red lights we have going on here in the studio, we're going to finally cancel Code Red going into 5 o'clock. And then it just says, where do we go from here, and work through all the water that has not found a home yet. We're at 65 degrees right now downtown. That is another look at Lower Broadway for you. Here we go. Future track taking us through the next couple of hours. Clears out the rain very quickly. Could have 1 or 2 more isolated showers during the afternoon, but compared to the last few days, nothing that we have to worry about. 90% of us see nothing after around 10 o'clock this morning. So settling into a better pattern. We've also cooled down quickly. We had temperatures around midnight that were well into the 70s. We've dipped back into the 60s, and we'll stay there through about 6 o'clock, eventually making its way back into the 80s later on this afternoon. We'll aim for a high of 86 degrees for the high temperature today. We're still monitoring our muggy meter. It will still be a little bit sticky to start the day. We've put down so much rain. We'll start looking into storm reports, rainfall totals, and then a pretty decently nice pattern here leading into the upcoming weekend, which will be a much calmer one than this past one that we're just wrapping up.
Operation Crime and Justice this morning. We know Broadway bars and shops downtown are always crowded with tourists and partygoers. And now police say 2 professional pickpocketers who prey on those crowds are behind bars. They say that 30-year-old, you're looking at them right here, Medicis Fonseca and 40-year-old Andy Diaz are now behind bars. They are facing charges. Police say they've been working to identify this couple for weeks. They have been seen stealing wallets and using stolen credit cards on multiple surveillance cameras. They have admitted to having 4 stolen cell phones and 2 wallets and even a purse at the time of that arrest. Now, they also claim that they have pickpocketed from bar to bar, including at Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's bar as well. Detectives have returned the wallets and 3 of the cell phones to the victims so far. Now, if you are heading to Broadway, Metro Police are asking you to keep an eye on your cell phone and your purses and any other valuables close to you. Do not make yourself an easy target. They say never lay your personal items down or drape purses over the back of chairs as well. That is where they become easy targets. Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Charlotte. That is where we're dealing with a crash that has multiple lanes blocked off in both directions. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear.
I don't. Wing a club, make a difference, and join us at the 615 Golf Open, benefiting Souls for Souls, June 20th at the Hermitage Golf Course.
Golf, music, fun, and a great cause. We'll be out golfing with some of your favorite local celebrities.
Join us for the 615 Golf Open,
sponsored by Fox 17.
4:45 your time here, waking up on Memorial Day here on this Monday, and hopefully if the thunder and lightning woke you up, that's all you really had to deal with was just some thunder, lightning, and we had some heavy rainfall, but most of us did not see any severe weather overnight, thankfully. However, areas south of I-40 did have some severe thunderstorm warnings, and we did have 2 tornado warnings, one for southern Decatur County and one for a portion of Franklin County right along the Alabama state line. What does this mean going forward? Well, all the humidity going to drop out and the pollen counts go back up because Tuesday through Friday, we are dry. When you're dry for multiple days this time of the year, the pollen reactivates into the atmosphere and you start getting the sniffles returning. So keep that in mind. If you're itching to get outside and be just carefree for a couple of days, well, today we're going to be in the low to middle 80s later on this afternoon with a drier afternoon. The morning hours, I'd not get out on the bike, but later on today, you probably have a good bet that you'll be okay. And again, comfortable as humidity drops down a little bit throughout the day. I'll have a look downtown. We have no visibility problems, just watching for any indications of standing water that could develop over the course of the next 2 or 3 hours. Lunchtime forecast, a comfortable 78 at 11. 80 degrees at noon, 83 degrees at 1 p.m. Not worried about much in terms of any significant rain, but 1 or 2 showers can't be ruled out for the afternoon. But most of us aren't going to see a thing. Taking a look here, Future Track does take us through and so it shows us these little light specks of some green here that could develop going toward the afternoon. And that's really going to be it. Little extra time on your 7-day because it's finally a good looking one to make some plans for. 86 degrees this afternoon. Afternoon hours are going to be mainly dry. 84 degrees tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday, 82 on Thursday. Nighttime temps get a little more comfortable as well with that lower humidity, upper 50s to right near 60 degrees. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. A couple of crashes to tell you about, but the most major one is happening here at I-40 at Charlotte. That is over on the west side of town. We are dealing with the jackknife tractor trailer there on that west side. Crews are there trying to get it straightened out. On the other side of the road, we've got debris from something that is blocking multiple lanes over there in that direction. You can use Charlotte Pike, Highway 70, as the best way to steer clear. Other than that, though, we are good to go with steer clear traffic. We're going to show you some other areas of town coming up in a few. Well, 96-year-old Edgar Harrell from Clarksville spent the last 25 years of his life telling the story of the USS Indianapolis. In his very last television interviews, he told the story of the worst shark attack in recorded U.S. history. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier has the story.
To say I interviewed Edgar Harrell is not accurate. I listened to him. A story that glues you to your seat, mesmerizing, terrifying, and unforgettable.
The USS Indianapolis had just delivered the components of the atomic bomb. 1,196 men on board, including a young Marine, Ed Harrell, who was just off the farm from land between the lakes. The ship was on its way to the Philippines when 2 Japanese torpedoes sunk the ship July 27, 1945. He saw men burning alive, saw men sinking, trapped in bunks, now tombs, cries and shouts in the dark.
Kind of like an echo, abandoned ship, abandoned ship. I go over and get a hold of that rail and look out into the blackness of the night and you just think life is over. This is the end of life, but to hold on to that rail. And as I tell the story today, I say that there's times when you pray, and there's times when you pray, and I looking out into the night thinking life is over.
And with that, Ed Harrell leapt into the oily blackness. It is believed about 900 of the men made it into the water, but that water was full of oil, and the men are covered in it, some blind now. But it was about to get worse. All the noise and commotion brought sharks, oceanic white-tip, man-eating sharks.
Seeing your buddies gutted apart every little bit, you hear a blood-curdling scream, and You look and there's a body out there, and all of a sudden you see fins. The body goes under, and momentarily, like a fish cork, it comes to the surface, and from there, then sharks. And you dare not to go and check, see who your buddy might be. Sometime later, though, you check him, you find out that the bottom torso is gone, or he's disemboweled. Now we're just losing men just every little bit.
The men who drank salt water got saltwater poisoning. They go mad. Others die of dehydration after throwing up the oil they swallowed. By day 4, nearly 600 more men are dead. And the men who are alive are not floating, they are sinking. Their kapok jackets have lost their buoyancy after so many days in the water.
We're swimming, having to swim. It's not floating out there in a kapok jacket, 6-8 foot swells. Every little bit you look up on that swell up there and you see a body up there, and then that swell breaks and comes down and he hits you and he leaves part of the residue on you. You're going to wear that now. It's much easier to die than it is to live. All you have to do out there to die, quit swimming. Just quit swimming.
But then on day 5, a U.S. plane flies overhead. It had a loose antenna. The pilot opens the hatch doors.
He saw the sun hit the oil on our clothing, maybe not just ours, but he could see flashes of oil from that distance. When he got down much lower, he said as far as his eyes could take him, there was debris and boys. Later they say we were scattered over 25 miles.
316 men survived, including Ed Harrell, but he was so broken he couldn't even talk about what happened until one day a family friend forced the troubled young man to tell it all. He barely got the story out, but afterwards.
I saw that telling it helped me. It's the cathartic that I needed, desperately needed.
Ed Harrell has told his story an estimated 500 times. He is 94 now, given less than a year to live, but he is happy. The last living Marine from the USS Indianapolis. His life has been a model of devotion.
Your hand will lead me.
He is a chaplain. He's been married to his wife Ola for 71 years. He praises God constantly.
Every day I spend time praying and thanking Him.
He has kept his promises.
Edgar Harrell told his story an estimated 500 times. His life was a model of devotion. A chaplain who was married to his wife Ola for 72 years. Thank you for your service, Mr. Harrell. I will never forget you. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Live look in Robertson County this morning. That is where a large tree is still blocking the roadway. Coming up, we're going to have the latest updates on when this tree could get picked up and your traffic and weather in just a few. Also looking forward to getting outside in the warmer weather, serving up some pickleball fun. We're going to tell you where you could play rooftop pickleball in downtown Nashville.
Your assessment.
Coming up on 456, developing right now, there are concerns over a gas station at the Wheezy's Kitchen that is on Highway 70 in McEwing. Now, the Humphrey County Sheriff's Office tells Fox 17 News that several people are reporting problems with their cars after filling up at that gas station there attached to the kitchen restaurant. Officers say they believe that the diesel fuel and the regular unleaded gas may have been switched up, and that can cause major problems. They're working to get to the bottom of the problem. They just want everybody to know about it.
And looking at our forecast here, today's high temperature going to be 86 degrees. The second half of your Memorial Day looks very nice. Right now, a few showers and weakening thunderstorms are ending for us. It'll be warm, a little bit muggy for the morning hours. Humidity dies down throughout the afternoon, and we settle ourselves back into a calm pattern and finally can get a little relief from these storms, these waves we've had on and off for the better part of the last 4 days. Taking a look, no one to mow. Your lawn might be about 1.5 feet tall at this point, depending upon how much rain you got. Today's not the day to pick, though. Even though we're going to be dry later on this afternoon, we've put down so much rain that we're going to have waterlogged grass for a little while. I would say tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are all looking good. Just saturated ground for us. Upcoming weekend, not going to be as stormy as the last one, but also not completely rain-free. A few storms will be out there on your Saturday. Not terribly warm, though. Temperatures won't even hit 80 on Sunday. Many dry hours of the weekend, and even the overnights very comfortably cool, right around the 60-degree mark. Coming up on our 5 o'clock half hour, though, we'll take a look at the radar, what is still out there. We'll also work through what might have woken you up last night. What are we seeing that is new compared to when you went to bed yesterday? We'll have that all coming your way in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic as you get out and about this morning. Let's take you out to I-40 at Charlotte. This is over in West Nashville. We have got multiple lanes blocked there. The outbound traffic leaving Nashville going towards Bellevue. We've got a jackknife tractor trailer that's been blocking lanes now for more than 2.5 hours. On the other side of the road, we've got debris. Unsure where that debris is from, but it is blocking multiple lanes there. Metro Police are on the scene. Lanes are open. You can get by. It is not causing that big of a deal. Just know it's out there since we have been dealing with such a big problem because of the rain. This is on the other side of town. This is going to be I-24 at I-440. Again, another crash on the shoulder of the road. Light traffic this morning. We expect that because of the Memorial Day holiday. We'll continue to watch things out there for you, let you know when things finally clear up. Well, pickleball fanatics, get a load of this. You can now get your game on a rooftop in downtown. The Bobby Hotel opened a brand new pickleball court this weekend with a celebrity tournament benefiting the Nashville Humane Association. You can reserve some time to play on the Bobby's pickleball court through the Dinkville pickleball app. Now, the Bobby Hotel will have this particular setup ready to go for players through the early fall. How about that? Continuing coverage on the antitrust lawsuit against a Nashville-based concert promoter and ticket giant Live Nation. Now, the state of Tennessee is one of 29 states joining the Justice Department in a lawsuit claiming that Live Nation is operating an illegal monopoly. The lawsuit says that the company pressures artists to use them for ticketing and promotion or be frozen out of the top venues across the city, and at the same time pressures venues to play ball or risk not getting popular artists. Tennessee's Attorney General says that Live Nation will be broken up. He's also open to a negotiated settlement.
The goal is not to punish companies. The goal is to protect the consumers. And if there's a way that we can do that by all behaving reasonably and finding a solution that works, I'm never going to slam the door on that. However, this has been a problem for a long time.
Fox 17 News has reached out to Live Nation for a response to the lawsuit. They have no comment so far. We'll keep you posted as our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 5 o'clock our time right now, and we have dropped our Code Red weather alert. We are now in the all clear across the board. We're still dealing with a few showers and storms we'll track this morning and work into a nice calm period coming up in your forecast.
Taking a look at these storms, we're going to hear from a homeowner and what she faces next.
And parts of the mid-state picking up the pieces this morning after a series of powerful storms. We have a trail of destruction across the country. We'll get the latest updates in moments. Police say a streak has now ended for a pickpocketing couple targeting people at downtown bars. There are 2 pictures right there in the middle of your screen. We've got more information. Plus, it is Memorial Day, and we'll take a closer look at the meaning of the day and how you can commemorate it. Good morning, and thank you so much for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica is off today. We have had so many pictures and so much video come into the newsroom after the storms that blew through our area yesterday. We want to take a look at some of the newest pictures in from overnight after all of our severe weather. These are coming to us from Smoky Barn News. You can see descriptions here in each photo. These are from Robertson County, Brooklyn versus Lawrence, saying that Springfield took on a lot of damage, which is what we're seeing here in some of these pictures. Smoky Barn News sharing several. You can see that tree on top of a car here. Again, Brooklyn sending that picture into Smoky Barn News. And several more as well. You can see trees that have taken out fences. We're going to dive deeper into the damage in Robertson County, specifically Springfield, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Right now, kicking off our Monday, some other big stories you'll want to know about before you start your day. The families of the Uvalde school shooting victims are suing several companies. The wrongful death lawsuit blames the company that makes the video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare for contributing to the shooter's behavior. They also claim that Meta's Instagram platform allowed the rifle company Daniel Defense to aggressively market its weapons online. Now, in the past, courts have not held entertainment companies liable for real-world violence. We'll see how this plays out. Also, it has been 4 years since the death of George Floyd in Minnesota. 46 years old, back in 2020, died in police custody. His death sparked widespread protest, Black Lives Matter movement. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee reintroduced just a couple of days ago the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. This legislation passed by the House in June of 2020, but got stalled in the Senate. And another top story here on your Monday, a former CIA officer has pleaded guilty to spying for China decades ago. According to the Department of Justice, Alexander Yuk-Ching Ma provided Chinese intelligence with a large amount of classified U.S. national defense information. Ma was in the CIA during the 80s. All right, let's tap back into the weather this morning because, Greg, it has been our top story for days. It looks like everybody is finally going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. It's been 3-4 very long days of round after round of strong to severe storms. We have canceled our code red overnight, though. We had a lot of thunder and lightning that could have woken up many of us. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings in our southern counties right along the Alabama state line. We had 2 tornado warnings that we covered for you overnight. One of those was in southern Decatur County and one in southeastern Franklin County. Now we have no indications of any severe weather for the rest of today. Honestly, rain kind of dying down as we speak. Now it becomes the issue of watching out for areas of standing water and some ponding. All that water has to find somewhere to go, and it hasn't quite done that just yet for everyone. So we'll watch out for any flooding. Calm pattern ahead of us, though. Taking a look at one other good thing that expired about an hour ago, all of our tornado watches. They were chipping away at counties and taking them off the list here throughout the overnight, and now we're done with watches and warnings. Here really is all we have to contend with. One decent band of some showers still lingering here, pulling in through Pulaski, moving its way out toward Harwell, and then moving toward Cornersville and Fayetteville. Fayetteville, you got light rainfall now. We'll pick up a little bit. Might even get a rumble of thunder out of that, but compared to what we had the last couple of days, this is easy to deal with. Grab an umbrella if you're south of 40 and you're fine. However, not everyone's waking up with the same situation this morning. Many strong storms as we worked our way into yesterday morning. Track through one of those in Robertson County where we have some areas that we have some damage reports coming from. That's where we find Fox 17 News, Peyton News in the Springfield area. Peyton, what are people waking up to this morning?
Well, one thing someone is waking up to is this tree right behind me. This is a massive tree that fell on top of a homeowner's home. Her name is Anna Wingington, and this tree actually was sitting on the other side of the road. It snapped and fell on top of this home, and Anna Wingington tells Fox 17 News that she knew that this storm was coming. The only thing she could do was pray to the man upstairs, and thankfully her and her pets made it out safe and sound.
I initially heard the crack, and with it being more in the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch, and I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall on my house. And then I saw it coming and just ran away from the window, and my pets all scattered, and then it hit the house, and I just expected the bedroom ceiling to fall in, and it didn't.
Now the roads are clearing up with this tree. They did cut up pieces of some of the big branches here. So the one thing that still has to get done is surveys, and that could take a few days. So as soon as we hear back on that, we will let you guys know what the damage is looking like throughout Middle Tennessee. Reporting live in Robertson County, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you very much. At 5:06 right now, we have several crashes, 3 in fact. The worst is this one. We have a jackknifed semi on I-40 at Charlotte. This is west of Nashville. And you can see here a live look from our TDOT camera. Several lanes blocked. The good news is we are getting 1 lane of traffic by, but just barely. Again, this is I-40 at Charlotte. We also have seen, and bear with us as the cameras move around here, we've also seen debris in the opposite lanes, which is why we have police and TDOT going in both directions, both in and out of Nashville on I-40 at Charlotte impacted. We also have 2 other crashes. We have a crash on I-24 at I-440 leaving Nashville going to Antioch. I could see several cars involved in that crash. We also have a crash I-40 westbound at 46th leaving Nashville. Almost all of these look to have involved hydroplaning. I can see cars that are turned around going the opposite direction. We'll check in just a couple minutes.
I feel like
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Tuesdays this summer, Jamie Foxx and Beat Shazam are back.
Our contestants have won over 10
in the mid-state. Now, yesterday, at the peak of our storm activity and power outages, we had more than 40,000 people without power. Taking a look right now at NES. Nashville Electric Service is one of our bigger service providers, and they are currently reporting about 1,700 customers who are impacted with approximately, 62 active incidents is what they call them. And you can see big clusters here, but that's a big improvement from where we were yesterday across, NES, Cumberland Electric, Duck River, MTEMC. So we'll keep an eye on this for you and let you know how those crews are making progress throughout the day. And an update this morning now, a desperate family more than doubles the reward to find a killer. A Fort Campbell soldier, a woman, found dead last week. Clarksville police finding the body of 23-year-old Private First Class Katia Duenas Aguilar last Saturday in her apartment. And now the soldier's mother is offering $55,000 for information that would help solve this case. Advocates say her death echoes the 2020 murder of Army Private Vanessa Guillen, killed by her then military boyfriend. Katia's mother says she believes the person responsible might also be in the military, even though police have not made that conclusion. Katia's family also now calling for a congressional investigation into their daughter's death. Taking a look at more local headlines in your community, someone who is wanted for spray painting hate messages on Nashville homes has been caught more than a year after the crimes. Some of you might remember this story that we first told you about in March of last year. 2 people wearing masks caught on a Ring camera spray painting a Sylvan Park home. In all, 5 homes got vandalized. Metro Nashville police making an arrest overnight. A 19-year-old from Alabama is facing several counts. They are still looking for another person. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available.
Coming up in your Code Red forecast, we have dropped out of a Code Red weather alert back to normal here. A few showers out there we'll track for you, and then look ahead to a decent end to Memorial Day, and then stretch together some sunny days. How many in a row we'll see, we'll let you know.
All right, in the meantime, Greg, we're seeing a lot of ponding out there on the roads, which is going to lead to hydroplaning. This crash right now on I-40, and this one too, also on I-40. Police have not ruled hydroplaning in any of these, but I'll tell you what, we have seen several cars turned around backwards, which is kind of the first clue that we may have some water creating problems out there. Keep it here for another live update and steer clear traffic in minutes.
Law and Fox 7.
Hey there, good morning. 5:15 is your time right now. I want to give you a live look this morning from Hopkinsville. Good morning to all of our friends waking up with us in southern Kentucky. Hoptown nice and quiet for you right now. But we do know that several roads had to shut down yesterday due to more than 20 power poles that hit the ground. One of them fell onto a semi, resulting in a truck flipping and then trapping the driver inside. Now, thankfully, that semi-driver made it out with no injuries. Our authorities, the locals there in Hopkinsville, are asking for people to just, if you can this morning, thankfully it is a holiday and you can stay off the roads. Just hang tight at home, and well, a lot of you might have cleanup to do like we do around our house. In fact, right here in the mid-state, you know, we have definitely seen some wild weather over the last few weeks. And unfortunately, this is that time of the year where we do see an uptick in severe weather. But it's been a lot worse for our neighbors to the south. More than a dozen people have died after storms moved through parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas in the latest round after what has been months of extremely active tornadic weather. Here's Fox's Kevin Uretsky with the latest.
The central U.S. reeling once again from a series of powerful storms that left a trail of destruction in their wake. Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas all saw severe weather Saturday night that tore through neighborhoods and ripped homes off their foundations. One of the hardest hit areas appears to be the community of Valley View in Cook County, Texas, north of Dallas, where a gas station and travel center were torn apart by an apparent tornado.
Took a major hit. There's not much left of it, as you can see.
Multiple fatalities have already been reported. Officials fear the number could rise as search and rescue crews assess the damage.
Power lines were down, trees were down. It's taken a huge effort just to get back in there where most of the damage is.
Little is left of this neighborhood in Salina. One family lucky to be out of town when the storm hit. Their home now a total loss.
It was a godsend we weren't home. The neighbor across the street had an RV and it landed on our house. The only part that's standing is where we would have been sheltered.
Deaths have also been reported in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Tens of thousands still without power across all three states.
Pretty eye-opening. It's a lot worse than I thought it was initially. Once the sun came up, you realize the magnitude.
The scenes of destruction just the latest in what has been a historically bad April and May for the Midwest and Plains. The system causing this severe weather expected to move east over the rest of Memorial Day weekend. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
And as we know, in fact, it did move right our direction. Greg and I were talking just a minute ago about how we really dodged a bullet last night here in the mid-state. You were mentioning worse weather to our north and to our south.
Definitely, yeah. And there were a few of our counties that did have a few thunderstorm warnings that were right along the Alabama state line, even 2 tornado warnings that we had. One was in southern Decatur County, and one was a sliver of Franklin County. We don't have any reports of damage in those areas, thankfully, right now, but we'll wait to see if anything else comes into the Weather Center. Most of our damage was from early in the day yesterday. We were talking about some very strong early morning thunderstorms and tornado warnings. Robertson County, Sumner County, and then Trigg, Christian, and Todd counties in Kentucky. We're done. We're done. The lights are back to blue. We are clear when it comes to code red. Lingering weak storms have been out there, but now even our lightning returns aren't coming back as much as they were even just 45 minutes ago. A calm pattern settling in later on this afternoon. And even though we didn't have a lot of severe weather across Middle Tennessee overnight last night, boy, was it loud. There's no getting around the thunder and the lightning that woke many of us up overnight. That has tracked away. Still a few showers just south of Columbia, exiting Lawrenceburg, moving their way toward Tullahoma in the next half hour. You've already had some light to moderate rain, but you get one more little push of this before we finally dry out, leading ourselves into the next little bit. You can see those some of the areas that are being under that moderate rainfall right now, or that are placed underneath it. Cornersville. We get out toward Pulaski, Harwell, and then Elkton. Some areas that had some heavier thunderstorms earlier. Here's the last 24 hours. Yesterday morning ended up being a very dynamic start to the day. Taking a look, small cluster but very strong complex of storms included a few tornado warnings and one confirmed tornado report. We don't know the strength or what exactly went down in Trigg, Christian, and Todd counties. We'll know much more later today and in the coming days as we do some surveys. Lightning returns were through the roof, quite literally, in many areas here. We had a lot of lightning for the afternoon, and then we died down until the overnight hours that woke you up in many spots. Taking a look, we are all clear though. Just tracking what's up on the radar and looking ahead to a very nice 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
right, let's get to steer clear traffic. Let's get started at I-40 at Charlotte Pike. That's over there in West Nashville. We've got a couple of different things going on there. We've got a jackknife tractor trailer that's been with us since around 2:40 this morning, blocking several lanes. You can see it right there. Tow trucks are on the scene trying to get it straightened out so they can reopen all lanes. But there is that one outside lane that is open so you can't get by. On the other side, we've got debris all in the roadway. Unsure exactly how it got here, unsure what it's related to, but it's blocking lanes over on that side as you make your way into town. So they've got traffic lanes shut down in both directions. You can get by with one lane open here and another lane open on the other side. Charlotte Pike is also a good way for you to steer clear. Not a lot of traffic out here because it's Memorial Day. That's the only reason. If not, this would be a very serious issue out there for parties on both sides. All right, here's I-24 at I-440 at the junction, dealing with a car crash through the pine trees here. We can see it right over there on the shoulder of the road. Again, you can get by, just minor delays as you make that drive in. And also, let's go to I-40 at 46th Avenue here. We've got a car facing the wrong direction with some damage to the front end, probably spun out and hit a guardrail here. Police on the scene trying to deal with that, not causing major delays, but just know those streets are going to be wet even though the rain has stopped.
Justin, thank you. 5:21 is the time right now, and a live look this morning from Robertson County. This is Springfield, where a huge tree snapped, really came up by the root ball and went over the road here. Now, I was out here yesterday morning when teams with chainsaws came out to cut the root ball away so that cars can get through. So you can get through this road. We're going to take you there live in moments and get you an update on the impact for one woman and her home. Keep it here. And folks in Franklin concerned their city is growing too quickly, losing the charm maybe that brought them there to begin with. They claim adding new homes will bring overcrowding to schools and cause flooding in places they've never seen before. Justin McFarland dives into that story in minutes.
At TJ Maxx.
5:24 is the time. As it stands right now, the city of Franklin has close to 87,000 people who live there in Williamson County. But by the year 2040, city officials are expecting the population could top 140,000. That's an additional 53,000 people that could be moving to the city. That is causing some people to raise alarm about the brand new subdivisions that are proposed across the city. You see, for years, farmland has quickly turned into housing, and now some people are asking if city systems and even the schools themselves are ready for the growth.
The Williamson County School District currently has shortages of teachers, counselors, resource officers, bus drivers, and more. They're struggling to fill those positions currently without the impact of Poplar Farms being even built yet. Can you imagine the further impact of Village Green if this were to be approved? Building an additional 600 units proposed for Village Green will have a monumental impact on our schools and the quality of education for our children. Class sizes will inevitably go up, the schools will continue to struggle to fill positions, and our children will feel the brunt of all of this.
Now, just to be clear, this is not about just one particular subdivision that she's talking about. It's about a lot of them that are proposed here for the city of Franklin. Just on a personal note that I wanted to pass along, I grew up here in Middle Tennessee. When I moved here in 1991, Franklin had a population of 20,000.
Take a look at the forecast here at 5:26 and the notes of the day ahead for you here. One of them is that we had the showers and storms overnight, the loud thunder and lightning that we had. Now we've got ponding that's going to be creating some problems here for us this morning. A lot of the water trying to find the low-lying areas, and a lot of our streams, rivers, and creeks are still overwhelmed from what we had 2 weeks ago. And now we're adding more water to them. So keep that in mind. Standing water, a big thing for us here. Exercise some caution getting out the door. We don't have any visibility problems. We're at 64 degrees. A little mugginess is being felt out there. That mugginess goes away for the afternoon. High temperatures will easily be in the low to middle 80s, and we'll stay in the 70s all the way until lunchtime. Really, we'll stay in the 60s until about the next hour and a half or two. Temperatures right side of your screen. Drive times and local headlines on the bottom of your screen, even during commercial breaks, all the way through 9.
Well, coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, progress being made on I-40 near Charlotte. We're going to tell you why a jackknife tractor trailer had the road tied up and other problems that we're still seeing across the city.
This is just some of the damage that we're seeing here in Robertson County. We're going to break that down and exactly what other damage we could possibly see next.
Tony Bates, Bates Sports. Scott, show them what you've dug up.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Waking up here with a cancellation of our Code Red weather alert for the first time in 5 days. No need to worry ahead to any severe weather, but the aftermath is there. What we went through overnight and how we move forward coming up in your forecast.
Greg, thank you so much. And now on Fox 17 News This Morning, tracking the aftermath of that severe weather and what one mid-state community experienced just yesterday. 2 people facing charges. They're booking photos right here on your screen. Police say these 2 are professional pickpocketers. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. Glad to be here for you. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica Glover is off today. We begin with our weather coverage this morning. It has been a wild weekend. Warren County, Kentucky, hit with severe weather. The sheriff's office there telling us this morning several houses have been damaged in the storms overnight. Tree limbs blocking a lot of roads. You can see the damage here for yourself. Wow, that is significant damage to that home. These pictures showing a glimpse of it from overnight. Now, as we have seen so many times before, it's not until the sun comes up that we get the full extent of the damage. So we'll be monitoring that for you as we are live through 9 a.m. Again, that's in southern Kentucky. Now we go to Middle Tennessee, Robertson County specifically, and Springfield that had a lot of damage yesterday due to the early morning storms. Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live this morning in Springfield, just off of Burr Road. Peyton, I was out there myself yesterday morning, right after that big tree behind you fell, and watching those crews with chainsaws out there trying to tackle that monster of a tree was really impressive.
I bet, Jen, well, this tree is massive. It's actually, you could see it laying down here. It's definitely taller than I am, but this tree is unfortunately on top of a woman's home who we'll hear from within the next half hour. But again, this is just some of the damage here that we're seeing in Robertson County and Springfield. This tree actually toppled over. It was sitting on the other side of the road and it toppled over on top of this woman's home. Thankfully, she was not hurt. Her pets are okay, safe and sound, but the damage, again, we'll have to wait and see once surveyors come out and take a look just to see how bad things are. But for now, live in Robertson County, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
For many of us here, and taking a look at the weather story here going forward, severe weather threat has ended. Lingering weak storms, but the damage is going to take a while to clean up a lot of that here. Southern Kentucky and then into far northern Middle Tennessee were the areas where we're seeing the majority of those damage reports from yesterday morning's storms. Calm pattern ahead. We need it. We deserve it. It's been a long couple of days. Storms break, storms break. It was almost nonstop over the first 2/3 of this Memorial Day weekend. Now at least the end of today will look much better. Overnight we had tornado watches for most of us. Those are all gone. They have expired. We have canceled Code Red for the rest of today. Few showers are dying down as we speak, and those are in our southernmost counties. In the Tullahoma area out toward Winchester, you've had some showers. You had a few stronger thunderstorms that tracked through about 4 or 5 hours ago. Now we're seeing everything ending. This is the last 24 hours though. We just saw Peyton up in Robertson County in the Springfield area. Take a look at what happened going into yesterday morning. After about 8 o'clock in the morning, multiple tornado warnings, confirmed tornado warnings in portions of southern Kentucky, and we did have one tornado warning in the Robertson and Sumner County areas. Those were those red boxes that popped up. We had multiple rounds of thunderstorms with tons of lightning for the afternoon, and then we had a break. And we thought, okay, we're looking good. Got a little bit of sunshine. The humidity really took off. And then taking a look here after about 9 o'clock, the last line moved in. This was the really loud one overnight last night. Not a lot of thunderstorm activity when it comes to severe weather. Not a lot of yellow boxes that would show us thunderstorm warnings until we got toward around 1 o'clock in the morning, and those storms were well south of the Nashville area. Right now we're at 64 degrees. Later on this afternoon, we're going to push into the low to middle 80s. Humidity dying down throughout the day, but with the humidity and rain going away, pollen counts are going up, which days could be tough for allergies later this week in your forecast.
Steer clear. Clear traffic takes us out to I-40 at Charlotte Pike. This is over in West Nashville. You're taking a look at well, it's a blurry shot, but this is Metro Police and a tow truck trying to deal with the leftovers of a car over there on the shoulder. This is the same location where we saw a jackknife tractor trailer earlier in the morning. Thankfully, they've been able to get that out of the way, but they're still left over with several things, including debris on the other side of this particular road. So let's take a look at something else that's happening. This is going to be I-24 at I-440 coming in from the east side of town. Multiple cars here involved with the crash. Metro Police on the scene there trying to clear up the leftovers of that. You can always take Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike to steer clear. But in all honesty, what you have to do really is slow down and take your time. There's plenty of space out there. Traffic is very light, but the roads are wet, and that does cause a number of issues. Speaking of issues, here's another one. I-40 at 46th Avenue in West Nashville. The road is littered this morning with people with going to have some Memorial Day drama as they're going to be on their phone with the insurance company for most of the day.
All right, Justin, thank you for that update. 5:35 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. Metro Police now say they've arrested 2 people suspected of being professional pickpocketers in the heart of Lower Broadway, targeting people down there just trying to have a good time. 30-year-old Miletus Fonseca and 40-year-old Andy Diaz are now facing charges. Metro Police say these 2 have been working together for quite some time, stealing wallets and then using stolen credit cards, and they've been caught on several surveillance cameras doing all that, according to police. Fonseca admitted to having 4 stolen cell phones and 2 wallets in her purse when they arrested her. She told police that she pickpocketed them from people who were at Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's bars earlier that night. Detectives have now returned those wallets and 3 of the cell phones to the victims so far. It is Memorial Day, a time when we honor those who gave their lives serving our country. And this morning, Fox 17 News proud to be at Nashville Veterans Cemetery in Madison. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is there this morning on the scene. Besides Memorial Day, this cemetery also expected to host a 5K race this morning. And so we will be there for that as well. But thank you so much to all of the men and women who serve our country so selflessly, and of course, to those who paid the ultimate price. We've been covering all of the severe weather here at home. In moments, look at what happened in Texas. We're going to take you there. We'll get the latest update on, unfortunately, the death toll and how Texas is responding this morning. Plus, later this hour, a Clarksville veteran who Fox 17 News spoke with has since passed. And so this Memorial Day, we're sharing his World War II story in his honor. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Your time right now is 5:40. Learning more now about the deadly storms in Texas. Yes, we have had some severe weather, but thankfully nothing like this. Governor Greg Abbott confirming at least 7 people have died and close to 100 are injured. More than 200 homes and other buildings are destroyed. Another 120 damaged. I mean, listen, I could give you all the numbers you want, but when you look at this video, you can just see and feel the devastation there. There are homes that are just in splinters and leveled. We have crews that will be out there today taking a look at the damage, assessing things. We do know so far that this tornado traveled 50 miles. And the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has signed a disaster declaration. 106 counties in Texas are now considered a disaster from several storms.
5:41 our time, taking a look at your forecast, and things have improved leaps and bounds in just the last 2 hours. So what's new this morning? We are now all clear for code red. Some morning rain showers are still out there, mainly to our southernmost tier of counties, and no severe weather. That threat has ended. It has come and gone, but it stuck around for way too long. Now we're going to have a nice calm pattern for the rest of this week. We'll have some clearing into the afternoon. If you're doing anything for Memorial Day, I would say afternoon through the evening, aside from a stray shower, and I mean very stray, nothing we have to worry about. The significant rain is done for the day and done for the week. Taking a look at future track, it clears us out by right around 10 o'clock, but 1 or 2 little specks of green can't be ruled out for the afternoon and evening hours. If you get any rain, it's nothing to write home about. It's not going to be anything long lasting either. Taking a look at the muggy meter, 60s. Yeah, still a little sticky outside for the morning hours. The afternoon does get a little bit better, and then each day our muggy meter goes down. We're going to feel almost downright refreshing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But as that goes down, pollen counts will go up. So have the allergy meds and regimen ready to go here for the end of this upcoming week.
Steer clear traffic. Let's give you an update about what's going on to the west of town. This is going to be I-40 at Charlotte Pike. We were dealing with the jackknife tractor trailer there a short time ago. Thankfully, they've been able to get that out of the way. We were dealing with another car over there on the shoulder. They've been able to move that too. So we're making major progress. The problem is we still got a lot of debris over on the other side of the road. Unsure where all of this is coming from. Maybe the tractor trailer hit the barrier, perhaps causing this debris, but there's going to take some time to get a crew out there to get all that out of the way. Charlotte Pike, a good way to steer clear in the meantime. We were dealing with a crash here at I-24 at I-440. That one is out of there. Good news. We'll continue to watch the roads.
Justin, thank you. 542, a veteran's story. This Memorial Day, we are sharing one man's story from World War II in his honor. And thank you so much for joining us for Fox 17 News this morning here on this Monday. It is May 27th, a live look into the heart of downtown Nashville. We will have you covered, as always, live and local through 9 a.m.
If you've taken Ozempic, a prescription medication for type 2 diabetes and weight management, and subsequently suffered injuries, you may be entitled to compensation.
Our own Dennis Ferrier had the chance to interview 3 World War II veterans with incredible stories. Since then, all 3 of these great Americans have passed away. So this Memorial Day here on Fox 17 News this morning, we will hear all of their stories one at a time. Dr. Frank Willard died at the age of 104, and many people in Clarksville knew him as a friendly family dentist, but he was also a hero in the Battle of the Bulge. Here is Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier.
It is always an unforgettable experience to meet a World War II veteran. When we interviewed Dr. Frank Willard, he was 100% deaf, but that didn't stop him from a lively interview.
Dr. Frank Willard is out on the front porch for his birthday parade.
Happy, happy, happy birthday.
Nearly every greeting is punctuated with a chuckle.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Yes.
Oh, you gonna help me? I love you.
How many pills is he taking at 104? 1 a day.
Go to bed at night, lay down, sleep good. It's just wonderful. And on all these cards in there, there's about 500, I imagine. I'm getting cards from all over the state of Tennessee.
Willard was a math and science whiz at MTSU when the Army recruited him. He made them a deal. Let me finish up my senior year and I will volunteer. He served as the Artillery Fire Direction Officer for General Patton's Third Army, a critical position in the Battle of the Bulge.
And he was able to make the calculations. He drew out the scale they used for calculating the shells. You know, you've got the elevation and all the different calculations. He was doing those. He was responsible for that, for 22,000 shells fired.
Was he good at it? Put it this way. He went from private to lieutenant colonel in 7 months. Dr. Willard moved on to walking horses and dentistry.
Dr. Willard, Joe Pitts, I was your patient.
Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts remembers being in Dr. Willard's chair as a child.
He had such a wonderful chairside manner. His hands, although large, were gentle. And when you're a kid, you know, you appreciate that.
There is so much meaning that you could put into life.
Ashley Song met Dr. Willard as a high school senior for an essay project. She's here today on her own time as an admirer.
I think his character, his energy, I think he has a lot more life in him at like 104 than most people do, like at half that age.
Dr. Willard is now completely deaf, so we had to write out questions. And although we wanted to talk about the Battle of the Bulge and his advice for a good long life, you must remember, Dr. Willard was a dentist for much longer than he was a soldier.
Whatever is worth doing all is worth doing well.
Whatever. That's good, yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Dr. Willard didn't really want to talk about the war on his 104th birthday. After all, it was not a highlight of his life.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
What he wanted to talk about was his birthday.
Here comes the fire engine.
And the people.
I love you. You're the bestest neighbor.
The wonderful people who came to see him.
I feel good. I got a wonderful family, wonderful neighbors. Look at all the neighbors around. Look at them. They came to me. Isn't that something?
Dr. Willard lived by a very simple motto he learned in the 3rd grade. Quote, "What is worth doing at all is worth doing well," unquote. Thank you for your service. I will never forget you. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
What a story, what a life well lived. Incredible. And by the way, we're going to be hearing more of those stories just like that throughout the course of the morning. So I hope you'll stick here for those.
Yeah, that we will. Now we can focus on all the good reasons why we celebrate Memorial Day. All the stories and things people have done, and then the lives they live after, where they take the lessons and things that they've learned and kind of reapply it to everyone else. So yeah, many more of the, stories like that coming up here for you this morning, and much good news in the weather world here for us this morning. If you had a rough time sleeping last night because of the thunder and lightning, I guarantee you probably weren't alone. We had a line of storms track through the entire viewing area overnight, and now this is what's left. We've canceled Code Red. We've canceled our tornado watches. We have no watches or warnings for the rest of today. And this is not going to be one of those lulls in the weather where we get more showers and storms later. We're done. Might have a possible light shower or two later today, but that'll be pretty much it. Right now, we're watching out for areas of ponding, pockets of rain that have been out there but have quickly dissipated in the last hour. I would just say watch out for any areas of minor flooding or that ponding to kick off today. If you've got to get out the door and hit the road, just watch out for those things, and maybe even grab some sunglasses for later today. The sun going to try to peek out here for us on and off throughout the morning and afternoon. 64 humid degrees right now. That humidity will slowly die down throughout today, and then a fairly comfortable week ahead of us. How does today look hour by hour? 60s through the next hour, and then low 70s all the way through 9 o'clock. We'll stair step up a few degrees at a time in toward the afternoon with highs that will be in the low to middle 80s. Coming up in the next check of your forecast, we'll look ahead to the upcoming weekend. Unfortunately, once again, that will be our next chance for a weather maker to move in that could bring in our next chance for thunderstorms.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you out to I-40. This is going to be at Charlotte over in West Nashville. This is as you make your way into town. We've got debris all over the road from an earlier crash in the morning. TDOT has now come out there and set up lots and lots of cones. They're waiting on more equipment to come in so they can get this cleared up. We believe it's a missing chunk from right here in the wall itself, perhaps, that may have been hit earlier in the morning and causing this debris to get all over the road out there. You can take Charlotte Pike. It's a good way to steer clear. It runs right alongside of Charlotte, and that can get you past right alongside I-40, I should say, and that runs you right along past this particular debris stoppage out there. Also, follow me, one more thing, and that's I-40 at 46th Avenue. We saw a car here that has spun around and hit the wall. Looks like they were able to get that out of control. Traffic extremely light out there, so that is the good news.
Justin, thanks. 5:52 is your time right now. One of golf's top stars has died over the weekend. We're going to hear from his family as to what happened. Man, that is just a heartbreaker, but we'll get new details in minutes. Plus, a tree topples during the storms at a Kentucky national park. We'll get more pictures from the cleanup this morning.
Harris Trading Company, your outdoor supercenter since 1950.
Hey there, good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. It is 5:55 right now and a live look from downtown Nashville. Going to see the sun today. I know it's been a rough couple of days for so many folks cleaning up after all this wild weather. We're going to get more information on cleanup efforts. We'll take a look at your forecast and so much more here in just a couple of minutes. Right now, though, want to get to what has been a stunning loss in the golf world. In case you missed it over the weekend, two-time PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray died just one day after he withdrew from the Charles Schwab Cup at Colonial. Now, he was just 30 years old. His parents have confirmed that he took his own life. Murray had been open about his struggle with alcohol and mental health challenges in the past. Earlier this year, He had come out and talked about how he was sober and feeling good, but he withdrew earlier in this tournament, they said due to illness. And then the very next day, we learned he had died. So his family is asking for privacy at this time, but also ask that the tournament being held in Fort Worth, Texas, go on. I mentioned just a moment ago that we would get back into our coverage of the weather cleanup from over the weekend, and here you go. Take a look at this. A huge tree fell across a road at Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky. Now, this is a really popular spot. Folks like to go out there and kayak and canoe and do hiking and check out the caves and whatnot. The good news here, as you can see, crews got out there real quickly to clear off that main road there into the park. As I send it over to Greg to talk about the weather, quick story time, Greg. One of my most vivid storm memories comes from Mammoth Cave.
Okay.
We had been following the weather and even had tried to keep up with the radar on our phones. We were out kayaking one day at Mammoth and ended up stuck in a storm that quite literally popped up out of nowhere. We had to take cover, and we had the question, Greg, do we stay on the water or do we take cover under the trees? We took cover under the trees. Anyways, that's our Mammoth Cave storm story.
That's one of those or
I mean, it's like, which one do you do?
Yeah. But yeah, I would say off the water was probably the better bet there, because of all the trees around you, just hope that that's not the one tree.
Right.
That's how you look at it. Taking a look here, nothing to worry about. Jen. There's some blue sky.
Love it.
Let's take it. After last night, we're looking much better here. Metro Center camera is showing us a nice clearing here of some of our cloud cover. Our last little showers just south of Tullahoma out toward the Winchester area, and then one or two out toward McMinnville. Lighter patches of some rainfall. So guys, just grab the umbrella if you're heading out right now, but if you're not in the coming hour, we look great. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are in the 60s. We'll be in the middle 80s later on this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic gets us over to I-40 at Charlotte Pike. Yeah, they pulled out the utility equipment out there now to make sure they can clear up some of this debris. Again, this debris has been with us now for several hours. We're not sure exactly where it's from. We are speculating, and I hate doing that, but we are speculating that it's from the barrier there that's missing a chunk, it would seem, right along I-40 near Charlotte Pike. So now crews have gotten out there with the heavy earth moving equipment to start moving not earth, but concrete or something that has come off of the roads here, and they're digging that up. So unsure exactly how much longer they're going to be out there. They do have one lane open. You can see a car coming by right now. And, of course, it is a holiday, so lighter than normal traffic. So that means the backups are slim to none.
All right, silver lining, Justin, thank you. 5:59 right now. In the high cost of homelessness, Fox 17 News investigates how city leaders in Nashville spent $50 million pandemic dollars earmarked to help Nashville's homeless crisis. It is the biggest investment that Metro ever made to try to address homelessness. And again, this was pandemic money. But according to data from the Office of Homeless Services, chronic homelessness is up by almost 76%. So what happened? The Salvation Army received $4.5 million to help with temporary housing, but they say this has not been an easy process.
I know some of the nonprofits, the challenge is having enough staff and personnel at these types of sites. Do you feel like that's been a challenge and you've been able to address that, or?
Staffing is absolutely a challenge for a number of reasons. One big challenge is the wear and tear that it takes on an individual. This is intense work, and dealing with vicarious trauma is a lot to bear on shoulders.
So tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chin will take a hard look at how the city is handling homelessness and whether that money is making a difference.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
After a very active overnight, we're waking up here with no code red threat level at any point this week. We are now in the all clear, but reeling from the damage and the potential flooding this morning. We'll take a look at that in your forecast.
And now on Fox 17 News This Morning, delayed justice, a new arrest after houses in Sylvan Park are sprayed with hateful messages and swastikas more than a year ago. We'll tell you about the new arrest from overnight.
Taking a look at the damage across Robertson County, this tree landed on a woman's home. We're going to hear from her in the next couple of minutes.
Peyton, thanks, and thank you for joining us for Fox 17 News this morning. Glad you're here. We're glad to be waking up with you on this Memorial Day. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica has the day off. Covering severe weather this morning and so many families that are waking up having to clean up a mess. Storms sweeping through Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, causing damage at a lot of places, including City Hall in Russelville. This community does have sirens on top of a building that were damaged, not working right now. City leaders urging people to just, stay weather aware, as the sirens are now not going to sound if there were to be any more severe weather in the near future. And now the good news is, as we've been talking to Greg this morning, it does not look like we have any more severe weather to worry about now. We'll join him in moments to get a look at your forecast. And as those strong storms moved through Robertson County yesterday morning, they did a lot of damage. Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes joining us live this morning in Springfield, just off of Burr Road.
Yeah, good morning, Jen. So you can see this massive tree behind me. This is the damage that we're seeing here in Springfield. Now, this tree was sitting on the other side of the road here. It snapped and fell on top of this woman's house. It's still blocking about half of the road here. But Anna Wingington tells Fox 17 News she knew this was coming. The only thing she could do was pray to God. And thankfully, her pets made it out safe and sound.
I initially heard the crack, and with it being more in the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch, and I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall on my house. And then I saw it coming and just ran away from the window, and my pets all scattered, and then it hit the house, and I just expected the bedroom ceiling to fall in, and it didn't.
Now, roads are clearing up and surveys still have to get done, and that could take a few days. So that's what we've got so far right now here in Springfield. Peyton Hughes, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you very much. Greg, as we send it over to you, I had a chance to talk with Miss Wigginton yesterday morning. I went out there right after that tree fell in her home. And, one of the things she talked about, Greg, was the way that those crews have to remove damage so as not to do any more damage to the structure, in this case being her home.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to do all that work today, almost taking that tree out limb by limb to avoid causing more damage.
Yeah, there really is a method to the madness when it comes to it. You can't just go over there and just start ripping things off because you might do more harm than good. That's why these processes can take so long. And we saw one of the still images there of one of the gentlemen who was standing next to that tree on the road. That's a perspective for you right there, just how big that tree was. Now, we are canceled for Code Red. We have some areas of some standing water. We definitely have yesterday's damage and all the downed trees, especially through southern Kentucky and northern Robertson County. Taking a look here, we get ourselves into a calm pattern the next couple of days. Not much to worry about here. Turtle Watch expired earlier overnight into this morning, which is good. That has prompted us to go into all clear for Code Red. Doppler radar has been dying down. Again, I mentioned McMinnville out toward Tullahoma and Winchester, the one little area. We're seeing a few showers. This was that area of thunderstorm activity that moved through. This is yesterday morning when we had multiple tornado warnings. And then, yeah, that's right, when everything went right over Robertson County and then into Sumner County. Actually, a tornado warning for that portion of the storm. They will be out there surveying the next couple of days, just trying to figure out what happened and piece together multiple rounds of thunderstorms that did move through. Today will be 86 degrees. We got a little sunshine out there right now, and we have wrapped up the thunderstorm threat for today.
Steer clear traffic gets us over to I-40 at Charlotte. This is where we've been watching things for the last few minutes. Crews making some work, getting some work done there on that debris cleanup on I-40 at Charlotte after an early morning crash that had the tractor trailer on one side of the road shutting down several lanes. Now they're clearing up some of the debris on the other side here. You can get by. One lane is open, even though traffic is starting to increase, it would seem, as the morning goes on, which is expected, but it's certainly much lighter than it normally would be for the Memorial Day. Other sides of town also looking good. We're going to check out near the airport coming up in a few.
We'll see you then, Justin. Thank you. 6:06 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. A shooting in the Napier neighborhood of Nashville leaves one man dead. Metro detectives say the victim had been walking near the J.C. Napier homes in South Nashville at Lewis and Winfrey Streets. Surveillance cameras showed two people exchanging words. They got into some kind of argument right before the shooting. If you know anything, please contact Metro Police. Operation Crime and Justice continues now with a person who had been wanted for spray painting hate messages on Nashville homes that has now been arrested more than a year after the vandalism happened. Some of you may remember this story. We first told you about it in March of last year. Two people wearing masks captured on a Ring camera spray painting a home in Sylvan Park. In all, 5 homes vandalized. Metro Police making an arrest overnight. This is a 19-year-old from Alabama who is now facing all kinds of charges. Police say he is a member of a white supremacist group. The second person involved still hasn't been found. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. It is Memorial Day when we honor those who gave their lives serving our country. And taking a live look this morning at Nashville's Veterans Cemetery. This is in Madison. Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is there this morning. You can see very quiet, but the sun is shining on so many of the flags that are at the headstones there. Besides honoring all of our servicemen and women who died today on Memorial Day, we also understand there will be a 5K in this area later this morning. So we'll be there as that starts to kick off as well. And we go to Franklin this morning, where a lot of neighbors are worried Franklin's growing too fast and losing the charm that made Franklin what it is today. They claim adding new homes is bringing overcrowding to schools and is going to cause flooding in places they've never seen before. We're hearing all of those concerns in minutes.
You're watching Fox 17.
6:10 is the time here on this Monday morning. As it stands right now, 87,000 people live in the city of Franklin. But by the year 2040, city officials expect that population could top 140,000. That is causing some people to raise alarms about new subdivisions that are proposed for the city. Now, for years, farmland has quickly turned into housing. Some are very concerned about what this is doing, not just to the school system, but also to traffic there in Franklin as well, which has slowed down to a crawl in certain areas.
This board has done as much with the destruction of this community as any does. The people that complain now about the growth complain more than I did about McKay's Mill when it was built. I told the board then that the density was too much for the area. You have no regard for the privacy or quality of life, only so-called progress and growth. What are you really planning for? Are you planning for catastrophes, illegals, slums, tax money invasion? What? I mean, how far into the future are you looking at this?
Now, Mr. Williams, that you heard from right there, has lived in Franklin for 7 generations. He says he's got serious concerns about what the community is turning into and the growth of this area. Now, I moved here to Middle Tennessee back in the early 90s. When I moved here as a kid, Franklin had a population of close to 20,000. Again, by 2040, they're expecting 140,000 people will live there. Sad story to tell you about this morning, as at least 18 people are dead and more than 100 others are hurt after severe weather happened over the weekend. The storm system is putting more than 120 million people at risk for severe weather that could happen still today. That could make Memorial Day pretty perilous for a lot of folks who are trying to get home.
And coming up in the COVID forecast, we have dropped code red for us today. Sun trying to peak out there. A very nice day on tap for us here. How long will stay calm before the next storms return?
Steer clear traffic at I-40 at Charlotte Pike, clearing up from debris that ended up in the road. We'll tell you the best way to steer clear of this. And a reward of over $50,000 is up for grabs. This is after a Fort Campbell soldier was found dead in her apartment. We're going to tell you why her family believes that they want now Congress to investigate the death of their daughter.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We have an update now. A desperate family more than doubling the reward to find whoever killed their daughter, a Fort Campbell soldier. Clarksville police found the body of 23-year-old Private First Class Katia Duenas Aguilar last Saturday in her apartment. We detailed this story for you during the course of the last several days. Well, now the soldier's mom is offering $55,000 for any information that could help solve this case. Advocates say her death is eerily similar to the 2020 murder of Army Private Vanessa Guillen, killed then, according to investigators and the case in the courts, her then boyfriend. Well, Katia's mother says she believes the person responsible for her death might also be in the military, even though police have not come to that conclusion.
I don't know, but they have reason looking because she's not the first one.
Obviously,
the problem is inside. It's inside. It's not outside. Everything is. They know, and you know too.
So much emotion from that mother in which she's referencing inside. She's referencing the military. Katia's family now also calling for a congressional investigation into their daughter's death. Well, new this morning, Google is walking back some factually incorrect search results just days after launching their new artificial intelligence search tool. You don't say. This tool is supposed to summarize search results so you can find answers quickly. But this week, that feature came under fire after it gave false or misleading information to some questions. For example, one user posted on social media that a summary incorrectly stated that none of Africa's 54 countries start with the letter K. A Google spokesperson responding, claiming most artificial intelligence overviews provide correct information. Google, OpenAI, and Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, are all currently focusing on these artificial intelligence products, which, case in point, may not work all that well. So heads up for those of you who like to Google answers to everything. You can't always trust what you see on the internet. Video this morning coming to us from Smoky Barn News as we continue our storm coverage this morning, showing the view from inside a Robertson County EMS vehicle yesterday as a tree blocked Highway 52 East out in Orlinda. Thankfully, crews got out quickly with the chainsaws and they got the tree out of the road. And Greg, I know Orlinda was one of those places yesterday that you were watching very carefully.
We were.
That was in the portion of like Robertson, Sumner County where we had that tornado warning.
We did, yeah. And it was a very active morning under the lightning. Basically right across the state line. That story where we have in Russelville where there's no siren system there right now, and it was posted as the COWS system is down. This is not a cow siren. It's an abbreviation. We're not trying to buy the siren for cows. People were asking that question yesterday. It is the County Outdoor Warning Sirens. So yes, the acronym for it. So just keep that in mind if you hear that term tossed around today. Severe threat has ended. Lingering weak storms have ended. Now we're settling into a calm weather pattern. Taking a look at the radar, just a few showers here that are exiting the viewing area as we speak, and will be dry the majority of today. One or two pop-up showers can't be ruled out, but by no means will this be like yesterday. All these little dots are reports of either hail damage, wind damage, or flooding. Look at that. Tons of them. And then we did have confirmed tornadoes that were on the ground in portions of Kentucky just outside of the viewing area as we got past sunset yesterday. But all the ones that are circled right here south of Nashville are hail reports. We had areas where we were seeing up to golf ball size hail yesterday afternoon. That's big. And it was across a good chunk of Middle Tennessee just south of I-40. We're all clear when it comes to code red. Temperatures right side of your screen are in the 60s. Will be in the mid 80s later on this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic. We have picked up a new problem this morning. Let's go to I-40. This is going to be at Fester's Lane. We've got a cargo van that is facing the wrong way with the hood open. TDOT is on the scene now. This is right on the ramp there as you come out of downtown, headed out towards Antioch and Donaldson in that direction. So if you're coming from Nissan Stadium and you want to head out towards the airport, this is going to be in your way there, clogging up one lane and blocking things up. Now, you can get by. One lane is open, but you do need to give yourself some extra time, about 10 to 15 minutes to work past this because that one lane is blocked. So this would be a much bigger problem on a normal day. But of course, this is Memorial Day, so the traffic out there is a little bit lighter.
Justin, thank you. Let's get to some sports headlines for you. It was a big weekend on the Diamond. We had the SEC baseball tournament in action in Hoover, Alabama yet again, and the Vols win it all again. The Vols are as we go through the next week or so. Still to come, a mid-state driver's victory in the Indy 500. How Joseph Newgarden pulled it off on the last lap. And boy, it was exciting. And a tough ending for the Lady Vols softball season. The game that left them just short of a World Series spot.
Harris Trading Company, your outdoor.
This morning, taking a live look from the Nashville National Cemetery here on this Memorial Day Monday, where thousands of our service members have been laid to rest. Our Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey out there this morning. You know, every grave has a U.S. flag beside it by Memorial Day. If not yet, that will be part of the process throughout today. Also, later this morning, as our Fox 17 news show continues, we'll be heading to Mount Juliet to give you a live look there of a display of about 300 flags in honor of our brave men and women who have given all. More sports headlines here on your Monday morning. Nashville native Joseph Newgarden makes history as he wins his second Indy 500. He won the first one last year, and after getting a taste of what victory was like then, he did it all over again yesterday. The Indy 500 delayed 4.5 hours, though, because of rain, but when it finally resumed, Newgarden and his team locked in. Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, Scott Dickson, Alexander Rossi traded spots for most of the final 25 laps, and on the final lap, Newgarden in yellow trailing Pato O'Ward in orange, and Newgarden powers his way past. The 33-year-old, now the 21st driver to win multiple Indy 500s and the first back-to-back winner. Oh man, what a move there since 2002. And heartbreak for the Lady Vols softball team last night as they fell to Alabama in Game 3 of the Knoxville Super Regional, which means their postseason run has officially come to an end. Alabama struck early with a grand slam. They made it 4-0, and you know, it can be hard to come back after that kind of being down, and Tennessee just never really did recover. So the 3-seeded Lady Vols end their season a 44-12 overall record and just one win short of moving on to the World Series. 6:26. Hey, I know a lot of baseball teams who have makeup games to play today after they got canceled yesterday, especially at places like Drakes Creek Park, which had to shut down because of flooding concerns. So looking good today as far as the rain is considered, moved out. All right, we're going to get some sunshine and hopefully dry out. But the pollen is going to be, for the next 5 days, pretty high. So heads up on that. If you've kind of scaled back your allergy medicine, you might want to consider ramping it back up again. Look at Wednesday this week. Really going to be high then. So we'll get a full check of your forecast, let you know how the rest of your Memorial Day is shaping up with Greg in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic versus I-40 at Fester's Lane. This is the very latest look there at a crash there that is causing some concern here. This is I-40 right there at Fester's. We've got a cargo van that is facing the wrong direction here. So what we've are seeing here is a backup of the traffic into town there this morning as you come out. So if you're coming out of Nissan Stadium, heading towards Donaldson, towards Antioch, you're going to run into this. Give yourself an extra 10 to 15 minutes. You can get past it. Just know it's going to cause some extra slowdown, and they're still working on cleaning up the debris on I-40 near Charlotte in West Nashville, but they are making progress, picking up some of the cones.
We're looking at some of the damage here in Robertson County. This tree is on top of a woman's home. We're going to break that down for you coming up in a few minutes.
And police make an arrest in a deadly shooting in Franklin. We'll tell you what we've learned so far new this morning.
This Memorial Day weekend at BF Fires.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News This Morning. A beautiful live look from downtown Nashville. Sun is up and we are going to get the chance to dry out. And I know that is welcome relief for so many folks. We're going to get a look at your forecast here in minutes. Plus taking a look at all the damage from the severe weather here in the mid-state and hearing from one woman about her personal experience. Two people facing charges right now in Nashville. Police say these two right here are professional pickpocketers. How they ended up tracking them down. Thank you so much for joining us here for Fox 17 News This Morning on this Memorial Day Monday. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica is off. We begin this half hour with continuing coverage on the storm damage as we had several tornado warnings and really powerful storms move through Robertson County. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joining us live this morning in Springfield to show us some of the damage that still has yet to be cleaned up. Good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Jen. Good morning. Now, this tree behind me, this is just some of the damage that we're seeing here in Robertson County, in Springfield. Now, this tree actually snapped. I'm going to have Madison, our photojournalist, show you. This is where the tree came from. This side, it snapped all the way over across the road here and landed on a woman's home. And she says, thankfully, her pets came out safe. She came out safe. No one was hurt, but the damage is what she'll have to look at this morning. And again, this is a massive tree here. It landed on top of her home yesterday from the storms, and surveyors will have to come out and assess the damage so that way we can get a better idea of exactly what we're looking at here in Robertson County. Live in Springfield for now, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you very much. 6:32 after all the storm that we have seen over the weekend and really the last couple of weeks, we were curious. We wanted to hear from you. Do you think severe weather season has become more dangerous over the years? Right now, kind of split down the middle. More than 100 of you have voted in just the last hour. So still lots of time for you to weigh in. You can vote in our Twitter poll. Just head to twitter.com, search Fox Nashville. You can also leave us a comment. And while you're there, you can leave us a photo or even video snippets of damage that you've seen where you are. So we would encourage you to do that. And take a look at this. We go to Humphreys County now. Two deputies find a fawn in the road and they step in for the rescue. Look how precious. The Humphreys County Sheriff's Office posting on Facebook that the deputies helped get the baby out of the road. And they took a picture first because it's just so precious. But a quick reminder here too, don't try this at home. Messing with baby animals, typically not helpful. Unless, of course, they're standing in the middle of the road and they're frozen and they need to get out of the way. You never want to separate a baby from its mama, but deputies here making a calculated decision to get that baby out of the way. Look how tiny. Oh my goodness.
That is a tiny little gal or guy out there taking a look. And also, I mean, so scary at night. You're in the middle of the road by yourself. It's your first year ever finding a road or seeing a road. Taking a look here. AM rain showers have mainly ended. They were down toward our south. Now we're drying out. Severe weather threat has come to an end. We are done with any severe weather for the rest of this week. We'll actually have clearing hour by hour into the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Already seeing it in some areas right now. This is the best the radar picture has looked with nothing on the horizon in about 5 days. Yeah, we were code red since the middle of last week for what happened over the course of the actual weekend. I know today's still part of the Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a good-looking afternoon. Temperature's going to be in the low to mid 80s. We're starting off in the 60s. And this is the rest of this morning toward the afternoon. You see how there's a few little specks of green late in the day. Cannot rule out a passing shower or two. Don't bank on rain. The majority of us will stay dry. And we'll see how long we're going to stay dry coming up in the next full check of your forecast.
Let's get to your circular traffic happening on I-40. This is just east of downtown. You can see we've got a cargo van facing the wrong direction there up against the barrier. TDOT is there dealing with that, but it is causing a small slowdown back into Nashville. So this is going to be as you're leaving downtown, headed out towards the airport, out towards Antioch. You have to go the same way there, and we're down to one lane, so heads up. You can see additional cars now pulling over to give some assistance there. So we'll continue to watch this scene. Other than that, we're good to go. This is I-40 at Charlotte, just west of town. We were dealing with major problems in both directions here at one point. Now we're wide open on both sides.
Justin, thank you. 6:35 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. Franklin police have now arrested the man you see here behind me after a deadly shooting Saturday night. Police say it happened in McKay's Mill area. No other information being released about the victim so far, but 18-year-old Matthew Raphael, charged with criminal homicide, being held on a $150,000 bond this morning as police continue to investigate. And in Nashville, Metro Police say they've arrested two people who have, according to police, been professional pickpocketers targeting people in downtown Nashville. You know, we've been documenting for months now the crime concerns in the heart of our tourist district. Well, 30-year-old Miletus Fonseca and 40-year-old Andy Diaz are now facing charges. Metro PD tells us they've been working to identify this couple for weeks now after they were seen stealing wallets and using stolen credit cards on surveillance cameras. Fonseca admitted to having 4 stolen cell phones and 2 stolen wallets in her purse when police arrested her. She told police that she pickpocketed them from people at Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's earlier in the night. Detectives have since returned those wallets and 3 of the cell phones to the victims, but there may be more out there. Cases that are unsolved. We'll keep an update and an eye on this for you. A disaster this morning as a landslide engulfs hundreds of people in a community on Papua New Guinea. The government now reaching out for help. And coming up in our 7 o'clock hour this morning, a World War II veteran's tale of survival against the odds in the wreckage of the USS Indianapolis. Fox 17 News investigator Dennis Ferrier telling a veteran story in his honor.
We know you care, but if this is all...
Good morning. Time right now is 6:39. More than 670 people have died after a landslide in Papua New Guinea. That's according to a brand new estimate just out this morning. The International Organization for Migration, that's the group that released the numbers, and a government official saying that in a letter to the United Nations, the death toll could actually be more like 2,000. Papua New Guinea's government has formally asked for international help on the island. Back here on the mainland, violent weather and deadly results in Arkansas, where 8 people died in the storms that swept through over the weekend. This is video from different parts of Arkansas, Rogers and Decatur counties showing damage there. Several tornadoes reported in northwest Arkansas, more than 100,000 power outages statewide. Now, crews have been working nonstop to try to get people back online. Same could be said here in the mid-state where, you know, we have been tracking several outages in southern Kentucky and middle Tennessee. Greg, at last check, NES had power outages down to about 1,500 or so.
Improvement, but still ways to go, of course. But thankfully, the weather is now cooperating for us. Look at how much rainfall we put down on top of all the wind and hail reports that we had. I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit and take a look at some of the totals in the area shaded in red. More than 5-6 inches of rain. And this is a lot of the same area, or some of these same areas that had the heavier rainfall about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Almost the exact same locations are dealing with that here today, too. So we're going to be watching the streams, rivers, and creeks once again to see if we have any of that overflow getting toward the afternoon. Taking a look at one more thing, all the water we put down, very sticky outside. Humidity has our dew points in the 60s. Those will drop though throughout this week. Quite frankly, a very comfortable week ahead of us. We're in the low to middle 80s each day, today through Friday. Next rain chance not until the end of the upcoming week.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-40. This is near Fester's Lane there in the downtown Nashville area. We are still dealing with that cargo van that's facing the wrong direction there. Spun around and hit a guardrail as you're leaving town, causing small delays as you make that drive out of downtown Nashville, out to the south and to the east. I can give you, sort of a way to get around this, which would include the road right below it here. That's actually another part of the interstate, so no, not that one, but there's another road here, Hermitage Avenue, that's nearby. But in all honesty, you just want to give yourself extra time to work through this. It's about 10 to 15 minutes lighter than normal traffic levels out there today because of the holiday.
A mid-state veteran sat down with Fox 17 News years ago to share his story about his World War II experiences. Well, he has since passed away. This Memorial Day, we're sharing his story of service in his honor. Thank you so much for joining us for Fox 17 News this morning. A beautiful live look from the heart of Nashville. We're going to get some sunshine. We're going to get a chance to dry out. So that's the good news in the forecast. We'll join Greg again for another update in a few minutes. Good morning to you.
Getting the right new windows with Pella was...
Good morning, 6:45 right now. A few years ago, our own Dennis Ferrier had the chance to interview 3 World War II veterans with incredible stories. Well, since then, all 3 of these great Americans have passed away. So this Memorial Day, we will hear all of their stories one at a time. Here is Dennis Ferrier.
Jim Young remembered it all like it was yesterday. Be prepared to join him at the Battle of the Bulge as we remember this Tennessee treasure.
Jim Young was born in a beached houseboat at the foot of Beale Street on the Mississippi River. He spent most of his life living in a tent, trapping, hunting, fishing, and working as a steeplejack. He was a real-life Huck Finn who had no idea that all of that boyhood training would help keep him alive as a soldier in World War II.
Troops scatter through the field searching for Nazi paratroopers.
Young joined General Patton as a scout in the infantry at the Battle of the Bulge. Within hours, he started seeing men die.
How did you feel about being there?
I was scared to death, brother, I'll tell you. Most of the time, I was just scared to death because, death all around, destruction, it's just so close.
Young was a crack shot, so he was moved from scout to machine gunner. He remembers a dangerous skirmish on a very dark night.
One incident that really touched me, that even to this day, is I could hear a soldier crying out for somebody to kill him. Somebody shoot me, somebody shoot me. It touched me so deeply that it's so vivid to me right now. I don't even have to close my eyes, but I can hear his voice right now.
77 years later, he remembers it all vividly.
I crawled right through what was left of guys that artillery shell fell right on them.
Story after story, death within arm's reach.
The last round that sniper fired hit him right here. Now, sir, I'm laying within 4 feet of him. I've got a white face, he had a white face. Why that he chose that white face instead of this one, only God knows.
Once Jim's tank was hit by artillery fire, 3 dead. He was thrown in the middle of the road, injured so badly he couldn't get up.
Artillery shells going off. If think about the anti-craft guns, how they have the bursts and the shrapnel spreads, and the gunpowder black, and it was just hell is what it was. And anyway, but this man took a hold of me and helped me, and he dragged and lifted me to a washout.
That was farm boy Herman Lee, pictured here with Jim after the battle. When the war ended, Young earned all kinds of medals, including the Bronze Star and Combat Infantry Badge. He came home to marriage and children and good jobs and night terrors.
For 15 years, every single night, the moment he went to sleep.
No, I'd have to read until I'd go to sleep. I'd have a book hit me in the face. I'd go to sleep reading because I was scared to go to sleep. Because every time I felt myself going to sleep, it was the devil would tell me I was dying. And so it was almost suffering death every time I'd feel sleep coming on.
Young finally asked the family preacher for help. The preacher surprised Young when he said, "Pray with me now." At first, Young wouldn't.
He had raised his head and he had his eyes open. We're just like this. He said, "Lord, look at me right now." He said, "Lord, I'm a sinner." And I said, "Lord, I'm a sinner." And when I did, no thunder, no bolt of lightning, nothing like that, but suddenly, immediately, I knew that some change occurred within my being.
And those nightmares every night for 15 years?
Never had another nightmare, never.
After that day?
After that moment.
The experience moved Jim into the ministry where he served for more than 40 years. What a life.
You know, I've had a wonderful life. It's not always been wonderful, but it's always been filled with wonder.
Now that was a life of value. Thank you for your service, Mr. Young. I will never forget you. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Dennis, thank you so much. And we have a Memorial Day travel update for you this morning. The TSA now says a new record was set Friday for the most travelers ever screened in a day. The agency posted on social media they saw more than 2.9 million people at checkpoints nationwide Friday. That beat the previous record from November 26th of last year over the holiday Thanksgiving weekend. Wow. Well, we knew that was expected, Greg. The AAA was saying they were going to see record numbers of people out on the roads. And I know, we had to contend with storms here. We also knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you all prepared accordingly. I know a lot of folks are cleaning up this morning, though, after those storms.
It'll be a cleanup for a few days here because we kept getting round after round. So even if you had damage from storms that, say, happened 48 hours ago, you had to wait until we actually had a gap in the rain to get out there and assess what's going on and start that process. So today, I want to be clear for the rest of today. We're all clear when it comes to Code Red. You went to bed last night, and we were in a Code Red weather alert. We had strong storms move in overnight. Most of those, thankfully, did not become severe thunderstorms, but boy, do we have the thunder and the lightning, and it may have woken you up or shooken you out of bed a little bit a few times overnight. We're done with that. Top of the radar looks good. You can even see some blue sky right now over downtown on our Lower Broadway camera. 65 degrees, and that beer truck just pulled a U in the middle of Broadway. You never know what you're going to see here at 6 o'clock as those trucks are getting on out of here after they're stocking up for Memorial Day afternoon. Taking a look here, hour by hour, temperature is going to be in the upper 70s to right near 80 degrees through noon, and then we'll get back into the low to middle 80s with dropping humidity throughout this afternoon. We are starting off in the 60s on the right side of your screen. We'll aim for 84 tomorrow, 80 degrees on Wednesday, and 82 on Thursday. All of those days, more sunshine than anything.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Deadly storms roared across Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas Saturday night into Sunday, leaving behind a swath of mangled structures, injuries, and power outages. This damage is from Claremore, Oklahoma, northeast of Tulsa. With inaccessible roads and downed power lines, officials decided to shut down the city, and only residents with ID will be allowed into the city limits until further notice.
Steer clear traffic at 6:53. We're doing a little better out there on the roads here. Had a busy morning for a holiday. You wouldn't know it by the amount of crashes we've had out there. This is the latest one we picked up, and that is I-40 here at Fessler's. This same cargo van at one point was facing the opposite direction up against a barrier wall. They've been able to get it, pull it around, and now pull it over to the zebra stripes so they continue to work on it, and eventually a tow truck will come along and get it. Until then, there'll be a minor hindrance, but nothing major coming in or out of town. We'll continue to follow things for you with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9.
6:53, and a lab has a special mission to reunite fallen soldiers with their families. We'll tell you more about that in minutes. Plus, coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, one veteran's tale of survival against the odds in the middle of the ocean.
They say you can't have it easy, fast.
Good morning. At 6:56 right now, taking a live look from the heart of Nashville. I mentioned just a moment ago, and Greg has been telling you about how we're going to get the chance to finally dry out. I don't know about y'all, but we are waterlogged at our house. I mean, just waterlogged. So I'm looking forward to some dry days so we can clean up and dry out. And we will keep you posted on how the forecast might shift a little bit as we go through a brand new week and get into our 7 and 8 o'clock hour with those new updates. Meanwhile, we know that yesterday's storms impacted so many families in southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Take a look at Murfreesboro getting pummeled with hail. Woo! Man, oh man. And a lot of you have sent in videos showing some quarter-sized hail or bigger. This is from Jennifer Parody in Murfreesboro. So, Jennifer, thank you so much. Great video. Glad you were able to stay out of it from the porch stoop there. Greg, the hail was something that I saw a video in Brentwood. Folks in Brentwood even seeing that.
Yeah, there were a lot of areas that were just south of I-40, I think Williamson County, Brentwood. There were some spots that were seeing golf ball size hail, and we see some pictures of those that have come in as well. We're talking really big hailstones, and then areas to the north saw primarily flooding concerns and damaging winds. So it was just kind of depending upon where you were, but we got nothing going on right now. Our Metro Center camera nice and clear. We had some quick moving, very loud storms overnight that tracked out. As the sun was coming up, they were moving away, which is how we want to see it. That's why we're not in code red anymore. We canceled our code red weather alert, and it will stay that way into the upcoming weekend. Here's a sneak peek ahead. I know we've not wrapped up Memorial Day yet by any means, but it's never too early to start looking to the next Saturday and Sunday in the forecast. 86 degrees on Saturday, 87 degrees on Sunday. Now, we're not going to talk about a major threat for some showers and storms, but a few of them will be out there for the first half of the weekend, especially. Taking a look here, the Code Red weather app. Did you have it over the last couple of days? Maybe no. Maybe you didn't know a storm was coming, especially a severe storm, because you didn't have an alert. This is how you get it. Scan that QR code right there or go to either Apple Store or Google Play Store to get that free Code Red weather app.
Greg, thank you very much. Let's get into steer clear traffic. A couple of issues out here on the roads. Live look, I-40 at Fessler's Lane. This is east of downtown Nashville. You can see we've got this white van off in the zebra stripes and Metro Police on the scene here. Not a huge impact to traffic, which is good news. Now, I am seeing reports of a crash on I-24 near the Silliman-Evans Bridge that could be giving a backup. And that is if you are on I-24 heading out towards, say, Chattanooga or Knoxville, or even toward Knoxville to jump on I-40. So we'll get a look at that and see what's going on near I-24 at the Silliman-Evans Bridge in our 7 o'clock hour. A little-known military investigative branch is now doing its part to make sure no soldier is left behind. Memorial Day, you know, an interesting time to be talking about this. We have the MIA POW Accounting Agency class. This is at Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. There's also one in Hawaii. And forensic anthropologists, medical examiners, and historians are working in these locations to identify remains and artifacts buried on battlefields of lost soldiers going back to World War I. These lab workers want U.S. military family members to know a man down is not forgotten.
A lot of these cases, it's been 80 years since that person died, and the family still has the story. They may not even have been alive when that service member was alive, but that story gets carried down through the generations.
I ached. I mean, it hurt, you know. It just, I don't know, I just felt so bad. Even though I didn't know him, I loved him. But every year I would go up and put flowers on their graves.
That was Donna Kennedy, whose cousin, Corporal Charles Ray Patton, was buried with full military honors this month, thanks to the work being done at this lab. The lab has a goal of identifying 200 service members a year.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News this morning, we're taking a look at storm damage throughout Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky as the storms move out of the area.
And waking up here, storms are moving out, sunshine taking over. How long this new comfortable pattern is going to last for this week coming up in your forecast.
And steer clear traffic, we are following a crash on I-40 at Festus Lane. Are they picking up the cones or putting them down? We're going to have the details coming up in a few.
Been a lot going on this morning out on the roads.
Yes, there has.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is a Monday morning, May the 27th. It is Memorial Day. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source. Always here for you through 9 a.m. We do want to start this hour brand new with the latest updates in the weather department. A little bit of reassurance here. You might have noticed the red lights are off. Code red weather alert has now expired.
That it has expired. And look at how active we were yesterday. Every dot here on the map shows an area where we had some sort of local storm report, whether that be damaging wind, flooding in a few areas, or a lot of hail here, especially south of Nashville. Areas that did have near golf ball size hail. Wind reports here of damage with wind gusts in excess of 70, 80 miles per hour. A few tornado warnings yesterday morning and a few that we had overnight as well. Still no confirmations of any of that when it comes to assessments, but they're going to do their due diligence. And what I mean by them is the National Weather Service. We have canceled code red. Areas of standing water and ponding, yeah, you're going to find them here today. That is for sure. Calm pattern ahead, though. Right side of your screen, your current temperatures are in the 60s. We're going to push 86 degrees this afternoon, 84 degrees tomorrow. And let's focus on the nighttime temperatures. Those will be very nice as well. We're talking about upper 50s and low 60s later on this week with dropping humidity.
Greg, thank you very much. We have continuing coverage of all the storm activity over the weekend because so many families are waking up this morning and they can't even get off their property because of some of the damage. A case in point is in Robertson County in Springfield.
Some trees have blocked the road. They've also got some minor flooding going on as well. Let's get out to Fox 17 News. Peyton Muse live for us this morning just off of Burr Road out there. Peyton, what are you seeing?
Well, Justin and Jenna, I'm sure you guys can see this massive tree behind me, but we're going to have our photojournalist, Madison. I want her to zoom in actually over on the other side of the road where you can just see how thick and how big this tree is. Now she's going to pan over to the tree. This tree snapped and fell over on to Anna Whittington's home, and she tells us that she knew it was coming and the only thing she could do was pray, and thankfully her pets made it out safe and sound.
I initially heard the crack, and with it being more of the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch, and I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall in my house. And then I saw it coming and just ran away from the window, and my pets all scattered, and then it hit the house, and I just expected the bedroom ceiling to fall in, and it didn't.
We actually just spoke with the homeowner again this morning, and she just reiterated how thankful she is that it wasn't that bad. The damage, though, we'll have to wait and see, and surveyors will have to come out and assess all of that, and we'll keep you up to speed as this progresses. Live for now in Robertson County, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much. We continue to follow not just the storm damage, but traffic as well, as that early morning rainstorm did cause the roads to be wet, and it was causing some hydroplaning action earlier in the morning that caused some crashes. This is going to be I-40 at Fessler's Lane. Looks like crews are putting down the cones. Is that correct, Mr. T-Dot officer? Yes, you are. You're putting down cones out there this morning. So we thought we had both lanes open. That is not the case. So we still have one lane shut down as you make that drive out of downtown towards the Donaldson and Antioch area. You do not need to steer clear. I've just checked the maps here. If you just look back as far as Shelby, which is just a stone's throw away from here, there's no traffic. Things are very, very light out there. We'll continue to follow things this morning.
At 7:05 right now, we have new information after a crash on I-24. One man has died. Metro Police say Matthew Arevalo got sideswiped on his motorcycle as he was trying to pass in between two cars. I will tell you, every time I see this happen on the interstate, I just hold my breath. This happened on I-24 between Bell Road and Haywood Lane. 6:30 Saturday night. Matthew on the motorcycle died there on location. He had been wearing a helmet and whatnot. Police say the investigation will continue.
We are moving on to West Nashville this morning in an Operation Crime and Justice. Police have now arrested at least one person who is charged with spray painting hate messages on homes, vandalizing multiple homes. As a matter of fact, this all happened about a year ago.
We first told you about the story in March of last year. 2 people wearing masks captured on a Ring camera spray painting a home in Sylvan Park. In all, 5 homes got vandalized.
Now, Metro Police made the arrest last night. They tell us that a 19-year-old from Alabama is the one that's facing multiple charges. A second suspect has not been found, at least not yet. Well, coming up, some people in Franklin want to savor the small town feel and charm. However, they are afraid that the expansive growth will help ruin some of the charm of the city. We're going to talk to you more about some of their concerns.
And at 7:06 right now, a couple different live looks from Nashville to kick off your Monday. If you have the day off, I hope you enjoy it. For those of you who are working, we've got you covered, so you know when the best time to go will be and steer clear traffic if you got somewhere to be. And we'll be your live local news source through 9 a.m.
It's been a tough few seasons for the Morgans. Let's recap.
7:09 is the time. As it stands right now, there's close to 87,000 people who live in the city of Franklin. But by the year of 2040, city officials expect that population could top around 140,000. And that is causing some people to raise alarm about anything that is new coming to the city, whether that be subdivisions or new businesses that are proposed for the city. For years, farmland has slowly turned into housing. Some are concerned what will happen if that growth continues. And many are very concerned that Franklin will start to lose some of the small rural feel that it has. Now, one man talked about the difference between changing that farmland over to large homes or to townhomes and condos. There's one he prefers more than the other.
You can go large lot estate or high density. If you go large lot estate, you can kind of keep this thing going that we all love here. But if you go high density with too much of this property, it's all going to fall apart. And the people that are here for the rural lifestyle, we're going to get our votes and our voice diluted, because people that come in with high density living, they have completely different priorities than the farmers and the people that have been here for 30, 40, 50, and 100 years. Please pay attention to this.
High density, when he says that, what he means is condos and townhomes where multiple people can live in a similar space where you can build one standalone home. By the way, Franklin is still a big place for business. Just for example, the In-N-Out Burger Company has paid $36 million in 2023 to build a brand new plant and eventually restaurant there in Franklin. Operation Crime and Justice. A man is now in custody following a deadly shooting that happened in Franklin. This is on Saturday. Police say that the shooting happened in the McKay's Mill area, although no information has been released about the victims so far. 18-year-old Matthew Rofel is now being charged with criminal homicide. He's being held with a $150,000 bond.
Coming up next in your CoBed forecast, we have dropped the code red weather alert. We now have blue sky. How long this new weather pattern will last, and then the aftermath from the weekend storms.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 near Fessler's Lane. We've got a look at the traffic as things are slowing down just a bit on that outside lane. We'll tell you the best ways to deal with that. Plus, the Salvation Army working to address homelessness in Nashville. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen breaks down their efforts in moments.
I'm Blair Durham. When you're in an accident,
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:14 is your time. In the high cost of homelessness, we have an update on the $50 million investment set to address the homeless crisis in Nashville.
Now, we've shown you videos of several homeless encampments throughout the city. So has the investment actually led to big changes? Well, Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen has been talking with some of the people in charge of making those changes, and she's got an update.
Yes, good morning, guys. Well, it's the largest investment the city's ever made to address homelessness. But according to data from the Office of Homeless Services, chronic homelessness is up by 43%. Now, Salvation Army received $4.5 million to help with temporary housing, while those coming from homeless encampments wait for permanent units to open. But it hasn't been an easy road for this specific location. My previous investigation confirmed at least 16 deaths between January of 2021 through August of 2023, many of them drug-related. Now, records show crime has decreased at that site significantly, with one death since then a month ago. With the funds, the Salvation Army has been able to add 24/7 on-site staff and security, in addition to 2 staff members at this location. Now, the Salvation Army feels the city's investment has been effective.
And I know some of the nonprofits, the challenge is having enough staff and personnel at these types of sites. Do you feel like that's been a challenge and you've been able to address that, or?
Staffing is absolutely a challenge for a number of reasons. One big challenge is the wear and tear that it takes on an individual. This is intense work, and dealing with vicarious trauma is a lot to bear on the shoulder.
All right, Amanda joining us here in studio now. How many people has the Salvation Army been able to serve with this money?
Yeah, so far data shows that they've been able to help 142 people with interim housing, with about 75% of them getting into permanent housing. So that's a good sign. Now keep in mind, every person the Salvation Army gets comes from an encampment closure. So they are expecting more once the next phase of closing encampments starts. And I am also sitting down with the Office of Homeless Services later this week to ask them about this increase in chronic homelessness and plan to bring you answers. Now reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much. Well, 7:16 is the time. We had a very stormy night and a really stormy weekend, but it looks like brighter days could be ahead here with Greg.
Quite literally and figuratively. Everything is going to be so much better. Here we have the blue sky right now that's coming out. We've gotten rid of all of our watches and warnings overnight. Nothing else will creep up on us that we cannot handle after this past weekend. A passing shower or two late afternoon can't be ruled out, but the severe threat is gone. Lingering weak storms were there right around sunrise, but now we've also seen those track away. Just a calmer pattern. A little bit cooler here. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s and low 80s throughout all of this week and into the upcoming weekend. Taking a look at Doppler radar, we have cleared everything out and the sun really is taking over. Here's the last 24 hours though. This is yesterday morning when we had intense wind, multiple tornado warnings, and many signs of wind damage. We've seen the downed trees, and we've got all these reports coming in now that we're finally being able to go assess in the following days. Then we had the golf ball size hail during the afternoon south of I-40. We got a break late in the day, and then we had the one last push of showers and storms that moved in that impacted all of us overnight last night into very early this morning. We had 2 tornado warnings, one in a portion of Decatur County right over here along the Tennessee River area. You'll see a red box pop up there. And then we had another one that barely clipped Franklin County coming out of northern Alabama, so right along the Alabama and Tennessee state line. Then there goes the rain, and now we're done. That was just yesterday. We had storms the day before. We had storms the day before that. Here's future track, letting it roll through all of today. Looking pretty good. The forecast does keep us dry with maybe a stray shower or two, but don't bank on rain. If you have any plans for the afternoon, it's the first time in a while you can be pretty carefree heading out the door.
Steer clear traffic gets out the door this morning with a look here at I-40 near Fessler's. We've been watching a crash over here for the last couple of hours or so. That crash is on the shoulder. It is blocking one lane, though, as crews continue to work it. I think they're waiting on a tow truck now to come and tow it out of the way. Not causing major delays as you leave downtown. Minor at best, as a lot of people are off the roads. And to kind of demonstrate that, let me show you here. This is I-65 at Morris Lane down in Franklin, looking wide open. This time tomorrow, probably won't look like this. It'll probably be a little bit more crowded as people get out and about, but right now you're doing good if you need to get out on the roads.
This morning, Metro Police are investigating a shooting in South Nashville that has left one person dead. This was right near the Napier Homes part of town. You can see it on your map. We understand that detectives say the victim had been walking near the intersection of Lewis Street and Winfrey Street. Surveillance cameras in this area captured two people talking or arguing right before shots were fired. Police working to identify the victim and get more information about the suspect.
We want to know what happened, who did it, and we want to make sure that person or people are brought to justice.
The family of a Fort Campbell soldier looking for some answers. We've got the latest developments in her death coming up in just a few moments.
And Morgan Wallen's Broadway bar hitting another snag in the road to opening, why his team says they need more time.
Monday on Sherry, Roy Wood Jr.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. 7:22 is your time. Continuing coverage of the death of Fort Campbell soldier Katia Duenas Aguilar. Her mom, Carmen Aguilar, has now more than doubled the reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of her daughter's killer.
Now, the League of United Latin American Citizens announced a $25,000 reward last week for information on her killing. Her mother increased that particular reward to $55,000. The league says that her death shows very close similarities to a 2020 murder of U.S. Army Private Vanessa Gillian. Now, Ms. Gillian was killed by her military boyfriend. Katia's family says that the person responsible may also be in the military, even though police have not come to that conclusion. They are calling for a congressional investigation into Katia's death.
A look at the forecast, ever changing for the better throughout today. Right side of your screen, we're in the 60s, 86 degrees later this afternoon. Mugginess, yeah, you're going to notice it here. Our showers and storms have really turned off in the last hour. Can't say we're completely shower free for the afternoon, but I wouldn't bet on rain. We're mainly dry here for this time around. Mugginess dies down today, and then for the rest of the week, you're not going to feel it at all. Temperatures also will dial back a click or two. Taking a look at when to mow them, not today. We put down too much water, just not going to be a good idea. But going into tomorrow, through Wednesday and Thursday, that saturated ground will eventually begin to dry out a little bit for us, and those will all be good days to get outside. Maybe tidy up the yard in general and get the lawn mowed and just, ease back into a normal weather pattern for us here with not much to worry about with severe weather. Next time we have it, though, scan the QR code right there on your screen or go to the Apple Store, Google Play Store, because you want to have ways to get alerts. Another way to do it, to get weather alerts in real time right to your phone, is to get is to follow all of us, myself, Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan, and Brett Luna, on our X pages on Twitter.com. That's where all of your breaking information for weather is going to come in real time.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 at Fessler's Lane. We continue to follow that crash there. As you leave downtown Nashville, crews are working hard right now to get that moved out of the way. That is the biggest thing we're following out there on the road so far. Things have dried out, so we're not dealing with as many problems as we had earlier this morning. As a matter of fact, Metro Police have not reported an accident in the last hour. So this is the only thing we're working really hard on right now. We'll continue to follow things for you out and about.
We have an update this morning as Morgan Wallen's new bar just off Lower Broadway called This Bar and Tennessee Kitchen did not open this Memorial Day weekend as originally planned. Now this comes on the heels of Metro Council voting down plans to allow the venue to have a big neon sign outside of the bar. In fact, some of our local politicians were very vocal in saying that they didn't think Morgan Wallen even has a place in Nashville.
So the group that operates the bar says that opening a 6-story venue like this is very, very complex, and they need a little bit more time to make sure that guests have the best experience. They also say they look forward to opening the doors very soon, even though an exact date has not been given out yet.
We continue taking a look at storm damage this morning from the mid-state. We'll take you to Robertson County, where crews had their hands full with this huge tree that came up by the roots and onto this house.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with
This morning, your Code Red station.
Overnight showers and storms leading to morning sunshine. A big flip in the weather pattern, and we flip the lights back to blue. We have canceled our code red weather alert.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Fessler's Lane. That's where we are dealing with a crash that has shut down one lane. You still can get by. We'll tell you the best ways to deal with it. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. Just before 7:30 here on your Monday morning. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we do begin this half hour of our local coverage with damage from the storms that moved through Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky over the weekend. We had storms specifically on Sunday, yesterday morning, that brought huge trees like what you're seeing here behind us down onto people's homes.
There was some damage and also some roads that were flooded as well. Let's get out to Fox 17 News Peyton Hughes, who's live for us this morning out there in Robertson County. We're going to check back in with Peyton coming up here in the next few minutes. Until we can get to Peyton, though, let's get to Greg. He's standing by with a look at your forecast. Greg, the storms are moving out.
Yes, finally, and not moving out just to re-rack for more of them like we've been doing all weekend long, where you'd get a band of some rain or some stronger storms, and then everything would die down, and you get another one that moved in, and we're done. The one we had overnight was the last one. Mainly to the south, though, we've had some rain showers that have been out there, but the thunderstorm activity has died back. Severe weather threat has ended, and now we are under the all clear going into the afternoon. We'll keep it all clear for code red all week long. Current radar, nothing out there. Taking a look, we could see some areas, though, of some ponding, and also watch out for rising water levels in areas that are low-lying and that are prone to flooding. We did put down a good 5.5 inches of rainfall in portions of Robertson County over the last 24 hours. So there are some areas where we do have heavy amounts of rain that have come down. Taking a look right now, 66 degrees current temperature. Clouds have been kind of on and off downtown, but still seeing a little bit of sun. We'll get plenty of it later on today. We are in the 60s to start. We'll end the day in the low to middle 80s this afternoon. We'll be in the lower 80s for the rest of this week. Nighttime temperatures get comfortable, upper 50s and low 60s. We'll give you my first thoughts, though, on the upcoming weekend. That will be our next weather maker that's coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. We have continuing coverage now of the storm damage across the mid-state. Yesterday morning, when we were first getting storm damage reports in Robertson County, I went out and visited with a woman named Anna Winnington, and she had a huge tree on her home. And some of the video that you're looking at behind us was the work that was done to try to at least get that tree cleared from the road that it was covering.
Yeah.
And now they're going to start the process of trying to get the tree off her house.
Let's get out to Fox 17 News Peyton Hughes, who's live for us this morning. Been watching some of that process. Peyton, what are you seeing?
Well, Jen and Justin, so about half of the tree is gone. It's not fully covered. It has not fully covered the road anymore, but we actually spoke with the homeowner again this morning, and she came out and just told us how grateful she is that she's safe, her pets are safe, but as you can see, this tree is still on top of her home. And Anna Winnington tells Fox 17 News that she knew that this was coming, and the only thing she could do was pray, and thankfully, again, her pets made it out safe and sound.
I initially heard the crack, and with it being more of the high branches, I thought, well, maybe it's just a branch, and I just said, God, please don't let the tree fall in my house. And then I saw it coming and just ran away from the window, and my pets all scattered, and then it hit the house, and I just expected the bedroom ceiling to fall in, and it didn't.
Now the roads are clearing up, just like I said, how half of the roadway here has been cleared, and the surveys, they still have to work through those to kind of figure out where we're at in terms of damage. So as soon as we hear a little bit back on that, we'll be sure to let you guys know. Live for now in Robertson County, Peyton.
Oh, looks like Peyton's signal froze there for just a moment. But while we continue our coverage on the storm damage, we were curious, do you feel like our severe weather has become more dangerous over the year? We say severe weather season because things really do kick off in the spring, even though we can see severe weather any time of the year here. And right now, kind of split down the middle, almost 300 votes so far this morning, and we've only had this up for a couple of hours. We would encourage you to go to twitter.com. Search up Fox Nashville. You can not only vote in the poll, but you can leave us a comment. And hey, if you've got pictures or video, you can put that there as well.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get you to the very latest happening on I-40 at Festor's Lane, just east of downtown. We are down to one lane there because of a crash that's been with us for a little while now. But again, it's not causing big problems for you, despite the fact that if this was a non-holiday, this would be a backup through the heart of the city for miles and miles around. Just not that case this morning because of lighter traffic. People just not out on the road. Here's case in point, 65 at Trinity Lane. This is a place that normally is bumper to bumper at 734. This morning, wide open super highway. People flying through at 70 miles per hour or higher. So you're good to go as you get out and about this morning.
Wow. Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Not at all.
7:34 right now. We've been talking all morning about the fact that it is Memorial Day. We have been honoring the men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Well, this morning, a nonprofit is teaming up with a local gym to also honor our fallen soldiers with the iconic Murph workout. You might have heard of this before. Our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live at CrossFit East Nashville, and joining us live is the owner and coach, Jordan Shum. Good morning to you, Jordan. Thanks for joining us. Tell us about everybody who's shown up this morning, and they're doing the Murph, getting into it.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, we have 50 people out there on the floor right now with heat number 1, and heat number 2 is just about to get started.
Hey, Jordan, let's talk a little bit about the importance of the Murph. I know, having done this workout myself in the past, it does honor the life of one of our fallen soldiers who died in Afghanistan back in '05. But for folks at home who might be watching and have never heard of this or don't even know what it consists of, break it down step by step what everyone is doing in that soldier's honor.
Absolutely. So we've been performing this workout since 2005 when Lieutenant Michael Murphy was killed in active duty in Afghanistan. And he performed a workout that he called Body Armor. And it is a 1-mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and another 1-mile run. And so when he passed away, it was a way to honor him with a workout that he loved. It has been lovingly renamed Murph after him. And so every Memorial Day, CrossFit gyms across the world perform this workout to not only honor him, but also the many, many men and women who have given their life in active service.
Have you been amazed to see the growth of this, Jordan, over the years, as I'm sure more and more people have come out on Memorial Day to try and do this?
Absolutely. Every year, I feel like the momentum grows because you are in shared suffering, and it's a moment to honor something so much bigger than yourself. And so while it is a brutal workout, you are able to do that side by side with men and women that you love. And most of us have a family member or friend who has served in the military. And so it becomes much more powerful and emotional as you're sitting there trying to get through your push-ups or those pull-ups or air squats, knowing this is bigger than me. This is about the community. This is about our country and the veterans who have given everything. And so that powerful moment adds on over the years, and more people say, hey, I want you to come be a part of this with me. So absolutely, it gets bigger and better every year.
Well, what an incredible movement and incredible moments that we've seen over the years. Jordan Shum, the owner and coach there at CrossFit East Nashville, we really appreciate your time this morning, and thanks for leading the initiative here at home.
Well, coming up, Metro Police say they have found 2 suspects in a pickpocketing scheme. We've got the details in just a few.
And a very good morning to you, wherever you're waking up. Maybe you're in southern Kentucky this morning or closer down to the Alabama line. Good news for everybody. Weather is clearing out. Greg Bobus will join us again in just a few minutes to give us more updates in your forecast.
New season, new look. Get it with
7:40 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, police have arrested 2 suspects believed to be professional pickpocketers that were preying on the crowds of Lower Broadway.
Yeah, we've been documenting an uptick in crime in our tourist district for months now, and police say these 2 were part of the problem. This is Miletus Fonseca and Andy Diaz, both reportedly seen stealing wallets and then using stolen credit cards on several surveillance cameras. Now, here's what's interesting. Fonseca, the woman on the right, admitted to having 4 stolen cell phones and 2 stolen wallets in her purse when police arrested her. and she admitted that she pickpocketed them from people who were at Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's bars. Detectives have since returned those wallets and cell phones. No word on anything else that is still missing from victims in Nashville. But as we get updates on the story, we'll be sure to keep you posted. Wow.
741, taking a look here at the forecast. We moved the arrow back down to all clear when it comes to code red. We have no problems here. Today, we're going to just stay dry until the end of the week, so maybe even a good pool day mixed in there. Today is the unofficial start of summer for many folks, so keep that in mind. We're going to keep it dry and sunny the next 4 days in a row, including this afternoon. 80 degrees by noon. High temperatures are going to be very similar day to day. We'll be in the low to middle 80s today through the end of the week. Always have our eyes forward, though, toward the next weather maker, and it's going to be here on Friday into Saturday. Thankfully, though, I don't see any severe weather. It's just going to be a few hit-and-miss showers and storms. If you've missed our dog of the day here the last week, tomorrow we'll start right back with it because the pattern is great. But the dog walking forecast this morning will keep us in the 70s all the way until lunchtime. Good day for it. Going to be a lot of wet grass. Keep that in mind. Could have some wet paws when you get back inside, but no pause for concern later on this afternoon. Taking a look here, maybe you want to wash the car in the next few days. I wouldn't do it today. Still a lot of standing water and puddles, but tomorrow and Wednesday look good. No additional rainfall in the forecast till late this week.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's check it out on I-40 at Fester's Lane. They've gotten a tow truck there that they have finally loaded up that cargo van on. So they're expected to move this out of the way here, we believe, in the next few minutes. But for now, there continues to be a small slowdown as you make that drive out of downtown, out towards the Antioch and Donaldson area. If this was a normal day, the traffic would be backed up for miles. But today, not so much. There, the cargo van is moving out of the way right now, so police will follow there shortly, and they're going to pick up the cones and reopen both lanes.
At 7:43 this Memorial Day, we are sharing the stories of our veterans who paid the ultimate price. We have a mid-state man's experience that we're sharing in his honor.
Don't get caught in a flood.
7:45 is the time. We are continuing our Memorial Day coverage right now with 96-year-old Edgar Harrell from Clarksville, Tennessee, who spent the last 25 years of his life telling the story of the USS Indianapolis.
Now, in his last television interviews, he told the story of the worst shark attack in recorded history. Here's Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier.
To say I interviewed Edgar Harrell is not accurate. I listened to him. A story that glues you to your seat, mesmerizing, terrifying, and unforgettable.
The USS Indianapolis had just delivered the components of the atomic bomb. 1,196 men on board, including a young Marine, Ed Harrell, who was just off the farm from land between the lakes. The ship was on its way to the Philippines when 2 Japanese torpedoes sunk the ship July 27, 1945. He saw men burning alive, saw men sinking, trapped in bunks, now tombs, cries and shouts in the dark.
Kind of like an echo, abandoned ship, abandoned ship. I go over and get a hold of that rail and look out into the blackness of the night, and you just think life is over. This is the end of life, but to hold on to that rail. And as I tell the story today, I say that there's times when you pray, and there's times when you pray, and I looking out into the night thinking life is over.
And with that, Ed Harrell leapt into the oily blackness. It is believed about 900 of the men made it into the water, but that water was full of oil, and the men are covered in it, some blind now. But it was about to get worse. All the noise and commotion brought sharks, oceanic white-tip, man-eating sharks.
Seeing your buddies gutted apart every little bit, you hear a blood-curdling scream, and you look, and there's a buddy out there, and all of a sudden you see fins. The body goes under, and momentarily, like a fish cork, it comes to the surface, and from there, then sharks. And you dare not to go and check, see who your buddy might be. Sometime later, though, you check him, you find out that the bottom torso is gone, or he's disemboweled. Now we're just losing men just every little bit.
The men who drank salt water got saltwater poisoning. They go mad. Others die of dehydration after throwing up the oil they swallowed. By day 4, nearly 600 more men are dead. And the men who are alive are not floating, they are sinking. Their kapok jackets have lost their buoyancy after so many days in the water.
We're swimming, having to swim. It's not floating out there in a kapok jacket, 6, 8 foot swells. Every little bit you look up on that swell up there and you see a body up there, and then that swell breaks and comes down and he hits you and he leaves part of the residue on you. You're going to wear that now. It's much easier to die than it is to live. All you have to do out there to die, quit swimming. Just quit swimming.
But then on day 5, a U.S. plane flies overhead. It had a loose antenna. The pilot opens the hatch doors.
He saw the sun hit the oil on our clothing, maybe not just ours, but he could see flashes of oil from that distance. When he got down much lower, he said as far as his eyes could take him, there was debris and boys. Later they say we were scattered over 25 miles.
316 men survived, including Ed Harrell, but he was so broken he couldn't even talk about what happened until one day a family friend forced the troubled young man to tell it all. He barely got the story out, but afterwards.
I saw that telling it helped me. It's the cathartic that I needed, desperately needed.
Ed Harrell has told his story an estimated 500 times. He is 94 now, given less than a year to live, but he is happy. The last living Marine from the USS Indianapolis. His life has been a model of devotion.
Your hand will lead me.
He is a chaplain. He's been married to his wife Ola for 71 years. He praises God constantly.
Every day I spend time praying and thanking him.
He has kept his promises.
Edgar Harrell told his story an estimated 500 times. His life was a model of devotion. A chaplain who was married to his wife Ola for 72 years. Thank you for your service, Mr. Harrell. I will never forget you. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Amazing story from what some call the greatest generation out there. 7:51 is the time. Let's get to Greg.
Yeah, a lot of good developments here overnight into this morning where we're seeing the showers and storms that came in. They were loud, too. Those are done. We're now back to some sunshine. We've seen a reprieve in the weather here for us, and we're going to continue with a nice pattern here that we're settling into for the rest of this week. So after 4 or 5 days in a row of code red after code red, thunderstorm that moved in, now we're just going to talk about maybe a shower or two later on this afternoon. But we had everything that really did quickly move through overnight. It made it all the way into and out of the viewing area from north to south in the matter of about 6 hours. That is a fast-moving thunderstorm complex. Now everything is expired. Tornado watches are gone. We have no thunderstorm watches or warnings. Now it is the aftermath. It's the rising water in some areas. It is the wind damage that we're still cleaning up from yesterday and from overnight. So this is now the new narrative of, well, got to clean up again. Just like a few weeks ago while we had that process. Here is your radar actively picking up nothing. This is future track for later on this morning into the afternoon. Could see a brief isolated shower in a spot or two. Don't bank on rain. Plan for whatever you were going to do without even hearing the word rain. Just know if you see a few drops, not the beginning of something to worry about. 86 degrees this afternoon, low 80s for the rest of the week. Right now you're waking up in the 60s.
Steer clear traffic this morning at 7:52. Quick look outside at I-40 at Fessler's. We were just dealing with a crash here in this area, and the zebra stripes no more. They have cleared it out of the way, and you are good to go, it would seem, out there on that south and east side of downtown Nashville. The same can be said on 24. Look at this drive from Hickory Hollow Parkway. Wide open, looking good this morning. We have got your other drive times and information coming up in a few.
A mid-state driver gets victory again in the Indy 500. How Joseph Newgarden pulled it off.
Thanks for waking up with us on Fox 17 News this morning. We are live and local with you through 9 o'clock this morning with your latest traffic and weather information scrolling at the bottom and sides of your screen.
Watch Crisis in the Cloud.
7:55 is the time. Check this out. A drone light show will be taking place later on tonight. This is over in Mount Juliet. Now, Todd Needham of the Needham Nurseries are bringing that show out there to Mount Juliet as a way to pay tribute to the veterans and those who've lost their lives.
You know, and Mount Juliet is a very patriotic city.
They pride themselves on it.
You know, if you've never been there, you might not realize it. We drive through there quite a bit, and I've noticed they've had flags up on the light post for weeks now, all through town. There are hundreds of flags that are currently set up on display at the intersection of Mount Juliet Road and Division Street. So if you want to go check that out. And then we've got this light show with the drones later tonight. Event coordinators tell us they're going to launch the drones in Mount Juliet at 9 o'clock. And this will be on Mount Juliet Road, the specific address 665 South Mount Juliet Road. The best viewing will be anybody who is south of I-40 along South Mount Juliet Road.
So you can go check that out. You can also check this out. Hendersonville native Joseph Newgarden celebrating a massive second victory at the Indianapolis 500 as Newgarden is the first driver to win back-to-back Indy 500s in over 20 years, okay? Wow. 2001 to 2002 was the last time this was done. He was able to earn $440,000 as a result of getting this done. Newgarden's win comes in the middle of last month's disqualification because Team Penske had illegal push-to-pass software in some of its cars.
All right, so the next IndyCar Series race will be the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix coming up June 2nd. But again, congratulations to Joseph Newgarden, who now calls Hendersonville home.
Congratulations in store indeed. And taking a look at a forecast here, where we're going to be giving it a little round of applause later today. A few clouds have crept back in on our Metro Center camera, but overall, we are done with the rain and we're settling into a much more peaceful 4 or 5 days ahead of us. Doppler radar has cleared everything out in the last half hour. We had a few more lingering showers that were there right along the Alabama state line not too long ago. Those are gone too. So what does today mean for us here? We're talking about temperatures that are going to be in the lower 80s later on this afternoon. Taking a look here, you can always get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app by scanning the QR code. We say this all the time, and then we get a weekend like we just had, and I'll hear people say, well, I didn't know it was coming. Well, did you have a way to get an alert? There you go. You can go to the App Store. It's a free app. You just type in Code Red if you want to do it the old school way and download it like that. As far as ways to get alerts through social media, the best place to follow the weather team here is going to always be on Twitter.com or X pages, because that's where you're going to get the real-time updates to severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings as they come here into the Weather Center.
Steer clear traffic coming up here at the very latest at I-40 and 46th Avenue over on the west side of town. A light day as things have finally calmed down and things are looking more and more like an actual holiday. Earlier this morning, it was busier than we've seen on normal rush hour days. We had a lot of different crashes pop up because of the overnight rain, but a lot of that has cleared out and you're doing fine. This is going to be I-40 and 46th Avenue there on the west side of town. Good morning. Coming in from Bellevue and places like that, you're doing fine. Same can be said on 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Looking beautiful as you get out the door this morning.
Continuing our storm coverage this morning as wild weather toppled a big tree across the road at Mammoth Cave National Park in southern Kentucky. Staff members there are telling us crews got out pretty quickly with chainsaws and cleared off that roadway, so that is good news.
So what is trending? Let's check our website, fox17.com, where you can get the very latest on everything happening in your area and beyond. Of course, what has been trending for the last few days is our code red weather. However, it is expiring for much of the mid-state. That is certainly great news for those of you interested in that weather. There's also a lot of different things, including one man coming across something possibly from outer space. That's getting a lot of attention there on our website. If you want to read more about that and anything else going on, you can do so at fox17.com. We're live and local through 9, and of course, we're on the web all the time. You can check us out there as our 8 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, taking a look at more storm damage throughout Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. We have crews working right now to remove a tree from one woman's house. We'll get a live update on that in moments.
Yeah, damaging wind, golf ball size hail in some spots yesterday. Now we're moving into a more settled weather pattern, but the aftermath, the cleanup, is another big story here for the next few days.
Steer clear traffic is looking good in all directions this morning. Memorial Day means lighter travel. We're going to tell you about any updates we may have as the streets start to dry out. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 8 o'clock on this Monday morning, Memorial Day. I'm Justin McFarland.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Fox 17 News, always your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we do begin this 8 o'clock hour with an update on the weather and just a sigh of relief. Some calm days ahead.
Yes.
Our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus is here to give us a first look at everything.
Yes, everything changing here compared to yesterday. As we wake up this morning, we're no longer in Code Red. Humidity will die down throughout the day for us. So this is the last kind of muggy and warmer day. Whenever you're right behind a big weather maker like we just saw, it's about a 12-hour transition period before you move into whatever your next weather pattern is going to be. And that means that it'll take about 12 hours for that humidity to fully be lowered. Take a look. We're in the pleasant, if not refreshing category by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's going to feel very nice compared to the last few days. The heat going to be right into the low 80s throughout that time frame. Pollen forecast, though, we're going to see that be relatively high here most of this week. So if you've kind of slacked on your allergy regimen here, medications and whatnot the last few days, this is one of those times where start getting back into the routine. Now, let's talk about what did happen when it comes to rainfall, because we had quite a bit of it. Here's a map. Green areas showing us an inch or less than rainfall. But when you start getting into these areas that are talking about oranges and reds in the last 24 hours, we've had some areas that have had more than 5 to 6 inches of rainfall in the last 24 hours. So now the wind damage that we have to clean up and rising water levels are two of the biggest things we have to watch out for.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. At 8:02 right now, new in the last half hour, a flood warning has been issued for parts of Montgomery and Robertson counties. This involves the Red River, where it flows through Port Royal at the Port Royal State Park. Now, we're understanding from the National Weather Service, minor flooding is already happening, and the Red River is very popular for folks who like to canoe and kayak.
Now, that is the minor flooding that's taking place in northern Robertson County. And that is just one result of yesterday's storm. Fox 17 News Peyton Muse live this morning in Springfield, where crews are working to remove a really big tree from one woman's home.
That's right, Justin and Jen. So you can see this massive tree right next to me, but across the street here, this is where the tree was originally sitting. And from the storms yesterday, that tree snapped and then it ended up falling over and hitting this woman's home. I'm gonna have our photojournalist Madison kind of go over here so that way we can show you guys just how massive this tree is. I mean, look at this. This is taller than I am. This is huge. This thing toppled over on top of Ann's home. And thankfully, she says that her pets are okay, her cats are okay, no one was injured. But again, this is just the aftermath of what we saw from yesterday's storms. And they'll still have to come out, and crews are gonna have to come out and survey the damage so we can get a better idea of what exactly we're looking at and how much damage we're seeing here in Robertson County. But for now, live in Springfield, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much. Let's get to your steer clear traffic as you get out the door this morning. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike, close to the airport. If you have got a flight, keep in mind things are going to be very busy over at Nashville International Airport, especially today, as a lot of people return to town or leave town for the Memorial Day weekend. So we are expecting a pretty good pop over there. Have not seen it with the traffic as far as that's concerned this morning. But if you look at that far left-hand side of your screen, everybody in that far left-hand lane, all those cars, you notice, why aren't they using the rest of the interstate? Because they're all getting off right there at B&A, because that's the only place that exit goes. So if you got a flight at the airport, just know you're going to have company this morning.
Operation Crime and Justice right now. We have one man who has died after a crash on I-24. Metro Police say Matthew Aravalo got sideswiped on his motorcycle as he was trying to pass in between two cars.
Now, this happened on I-24 East between Bell Road and Haywood Lane just after 6:30 on Saturday. Matthew died on the scene. Police say he was wearing proper riding gear, including a helmet and things like that. The investigation is ongoing.
And we continue Operation Crime and Justice this morning as Metro Police are investigating a shooting in South Nashville that left one person dead. This is in the Napier part of town, which we have mapped out here on your map.
And just south of downtown Nashville here, the intersection of Lewis Street and Winfrey Street. Surveillance cameras show two people talking, and then a gun battle broke out shortly after that. Police are working to identify both the victim and the suspect.
At 8:06 right now, we also have understood that police have arrested one man charged with spray painting hate messages on Nashville homes after vandalizing several homes, according to police, more than a year ago.
Now, we first told you about this in March of last year. Two people wearing masks were captured on a Ring camera spray painting a home in Sylvan Park that's over in West Nashville. A total of 5 homes were damaged. Metro Police said an arrest was made overnight. A 19-year-old from Alabama is now facing multiple charges. A second suspect has not been found.
Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning, some folks living in Franklin want to savor the town's small town charm. Justin McFarland breaks down what that entails in about 2 minutes.
Fox 17 News is your only live and local news source, with you from 7 until 9 with your live weather and traffic updates. We've got those particular information scrolling at the bottom and side of your screen, even during commercial breaks like this one.
It's television's ballsiest family quiz show.
8:09 is the time. As it stands right now, 87,000 people live in the city of Franklin. By the year 2040, however, city officials expect that population could top 140,000 people. Now, that's causing some people to raise big alarms about brand new subdivisions and other types of projects that are planned for the city in the upcoming years. For years now, farmland has quickly turned into housing, or some are concerned what's going to happen if that trend continues. Many people are concerned that the school system will become overrun, and even flooding will become a problem. Listen to some of the residents raise these concerns.
We don't want or need another parking lot. Protecting our streams, creeks, floodplains, large lot homes, rural surroundings, no retail. This is the land use plan that we should remain true to.
Will it take a patient dying in an ambulance that is stuck in traffic and cannot get through to the hospital? Will it take a person dying at their home because the EMTs can't get from the hospital to their home? Will it take a home or business burning down because the fire department cannot get through the intersection? What is your plan? Where is your compassion and concern for the citizens?
Well, in the meantime, while they continue to deal with growth, the growth is coming, and that is for certain. New businesses continue to move to Franklin. Last year, for instance, the In-N-Out Burger Company purchased nearly 30 acres of land there in Franklin. They're going to build not just a new restaurant, but a distribution and headquarters as well. In Operation Crime and Justice, a man is now in custody following a deadly shooting that took place in Franklin. This happened near the McKay's Mill area there in the city. No information has been released about the victim so far. We do know that 18-year-old Matthew Rothel is now being charged with criminal homicide. He's in jail with a $150,000 bond.
Coming up next in your Cookeville forecast, we have flip-flopped our weather pattern here. Clouds trying to break up, and we'll have some days worth of sunshine, but I'm already tracking the next weather maker.
Steer clear traffic on I-40 near Dallas and Pike, close to the airport. You're doing fine. Light traffic this morning because of Memorial Day. And the Nashville area Salvation Army is working to deal with homelessness in the city. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen breaks down their efforts, coming up in a few.
Mindful Mondays is sponsored by the Jason Foundation.
Good morning. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now is 8:14. And the high cost of homelessness, we have an update on the $50 million investment that Nashville has been using to address the homeless crisis.
Now, we've shown you videos of several homeless encampments throughout the city. So has this investment of that $50 million really led to change? Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen here in the studio after talking with one of the organizations in charge of trying to make that change.
Yes, good morning. Well, it's the largest investment the city's ever made to address homelessness. But according to data from the Office of Homeless Services, chronic homelessness is up by 43%. Now, the Salvation Army received $4.5 million to help with temporary housing, while those coming from homeless encampments wait for permanent units to open. But it hasn't been an easy road for this specific location. My previous investigation confirmed at least 16 deaths between January of 2021 through August of 2023, many of them drug-related. Now, records show crime has decreased at that site significantly, with one death since then a month ago. With the funds, the Salvation Army has been able to add 24/7 on-site security in addition to 2 staff members at this location. Now, the Salvation Army feels the city's investment has been effective.
We've spoken in the past. There have been issues, with drugs, crime, deaths. Do you feel that has gotten better?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that was kind of the key part of that story, right? That story started with prior to us being the sole provider there, and it ended with us being the sole provider. And to see the crime rates drop as much as they did, and to see people's lives change has been amazing. So I think we're definitely moving in the right direction as a community.
Amanda Chen is back with us now. And Amanda, we know that this is not an easy task for the non-for-profits, and there are a lot of challenges.
Yes, for sure. And as Captain Canning mentioned, staffing is always a challenge because he says this is intense work when you're dealing with trauma and people who have experienced so much in their lives. They have to learn how to live in a home rather than the rules they lived by when they were out on the streets. It's a very long process to gain their trust and confidence. And I am also sitting down with the Office of Homeless Services later this week to get their response to this 40% increase we are seeing with chronic homelessness, and plan to bring you those answers this week.
All right, Amanda Chen, thank you so much for your work. Right now at 8:16, we're going to bring in our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus. It has been a long several days for our weather team. I know you and Katie and Brett worked around the clock over the weekend. Thankfully, we can put it all behind us now.
I'm just smiling now because now we're going to have a nice weather pattern. We're going to all get to just kind of relax, not have to be hyper-focused and anxious of what's going to happen next. I'm still cleaning up from last time. Now we're doing it again. None of that. We have canceled Code Red. All of our blue lights are on here in the studio, meaning it's carefree. But yes, it was a very active weekend. It wasn't one of those weekends where someone missed the boat in terms of getting thunderstorms. We all worked through several rounds of them, and now this is just kind of the soggy aftermath. We've got a lot of water we put down here in terms of rainfall. We, in some spots, saw 5 inches of rain in just the last 24 hours. So out the door, what does this mean for you? Well, we have a mix of sun and clouds right now. We've had some sunny bursts and then cloud cover takes back over. We're going to rotate that pattern on and off throughout the afternoon. 72 degrees at 9 o'clock, 76 degrees at 10, and 78 at 11. We'll be in the low 80s, and you'll notice the humidity get better hour by hour throughout your Memorial Day. So whatever you might be getting into later on today, if it involves being outside, really will be comfortable. I mean, it stopped raining only about 2 hours ago in some spots, and already there's a little relief. Temperatures this afternoon, lower 80s for lunchtime. That also includes dinner time. So keep that in mind for any outdoor activity. We're not planning around rain this time. We keep the rain gone today. It's gone tomorrow, gone Wednesday, and gone Thursday. Next weather maker's a small one with no real severe chance here, but a pop-up shower or storm can't be ruled out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday into the upcoming next weekend. But low to mid 80s most of this week, Tuesday through Friday. Nighttime temps comfortably in the upper 50s to low 60s, with most of our evenings bottoming out right now. I would say the upper 60s, low 70s. So comfort is the name of the game here for the next week.
Steer clear traffic gets us to I-24 at Haywood Lanes. You make that drive there in the Antioch area. Things are drying out. Take notice of the picture there on your screens, you can see one of the lanes darker than the others. That is because that overnight rain is finally starting to disappear off of the roads there. So things are starting to get a little bit drier for you. Hopefully that leads to better traction and a safer drive. Right now, no major crashes that we have found out there on the roads. We're doing okay. We'll continue to follow things for you live through 9.
We want to know what happened, who did it, and we want to make sure that person or people are brought to justice.
A Fort Campbell soldier found dead in her home, and now her family is demanding answers, and they have a hefty reward for information in the case.
And Morgan Wallen's Broadway bar hitting another snag on the road to opening. We're going to tell you why his team says they're going to need some more time.
Nature's Own is never made with any artificial.
We've got continuing coverage of the killing of a Fort Campbell soldier, Katia Dunez Aguilar. Her mother, Carmen Aguilar, more than doubled the reward for information leading to the arrest and the conviction of whoever killed her daughter.
Just learned about these new details over the weekend. The League of United Latin American Citizens announced last week a $25,000 reward for information on Katia's killing, and her mom has now increased that to $55,000. The league says Katia's death shows similarities, just eerily familiar, to the 2020 murder of Army Private Vanessa Guillen. According to investigators in the courts, her military boyfriend killed her, and Katia's family says the person responsible for her death might also be in the military, even though police have not connected those dots or come to that conclusion. Right now, her family is calling for a congressional investigation into her death.
8:23, and a look at the forecast here for today as we round out this Memorial Day weekend. And we did have many hours where we had to worry about the weather constantly and kind of evolve plans around it. Now we don't have to worry about that at all. 86 degrees this afternoon, mugginess dying down. Sunset for us at 7:55, and we'll have a good deal of it between now and then. Not an unlimited sunny day, but hey, if we can keep storms away and have some sunshine, that's a win in itself compared to the last couple days. Take a look here at the upcoming weekend. Next weather maker moves in late Friday and then into part of Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a few storms for the weekend itself. Not too warm. Comfortable territory here, especially on Sunday. Look at that. Highs will be in the upper 70s. Mornings will be in the low 60s. Many dry hours for us here for the upcoming weekend. So compared to last week's forecast and how we had to work through multiple days of code red, now we're working through multiple days of sunshine. Look at that. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all in the lower 80s. Really enjoy it for what it is. Go ahead and make all of your plans. That includes the evenings and the early morning hours. And we'll take a look ahead, though, coming up in the next checks of the forecast going the next half hour. I'll really hone in on next weekend and start looking at some long-range forecast models for us here to start trying to piece together which chunks of next week are most likely to be on the dry side.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is over in Antioch. That is where we have got nice wide open traffic over there in the Antioch Cambridge area. Looking really nice so far. No big problems either direction. It's been like this for the last hour or so after a very early morning that was very busy there. Jackknife tractor trailers, several cars that had hydroplaned and hit a wall. None of that right now. We're doing just fine as you get out the door this morning. Just try to keep it that way. We'll keep you up to date.
And updating you on a story that we've been following for the last several days. Morgan Wallen's new bar down just off Broadway called This Bar and Tennessee Kitchen did not open this Memorial Day weekend as it was originally planned.
Now, this comes on the heels of a very contentious Metro Council meeting as several council members voted the plan to allow a large neon sign to hang from outside that bar. They voted that down. Now, the managing group for the bar says that the 6-story venue is very complex and they're going to need more time to make sure that everything is just right before they open it up.
Just to mention a contentious, I mean, there have been several council members who have been very public in their personal feelings about Morgan Wallen personally as to why they think he doesn't even belong in Nashville. So we will continue to follow that story and let you know when Morgan Wallen's new bar is set to open. And still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning at our 8:30 half hour, we continue our look at storm damage in Robertson County and recovery efforts this morning.
Plus, honoring veterans on this Memorial Day. Coming up, the workout with a cause.
They say you can't have it. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
We are no longer in a Code Red weather alert. Not the sunniest of days just yet, but the rain is gone. Question is for how long? The next weathermaker does arrive before the end of the week, and we'll time it for you.
Steer clear traffic at I-40 at Spence Lane, just east of downtown. We're moving along just fine. No big problems out there. Let's try to keep it that way as we go through this Memorial Day.
Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 17 News this morning. Glad to be here for you. This is our last 30 minutes of Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I am Justin McFarland. Eric Glover does have the day off, but Fox 17 News does have you completely covered live through 9, including about the storms that moved through Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky over the weekend, causing some damage for sure.
Yeah, especially in Robertson County, where, by the way, parts of Robertson County now under a flood warning this morning along the Red River in Port Royal. But for our coverage now, we head to Springfield, and Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Justin. So just take a look at this massive tree behind me right here on Burr Road. Now, this tree was originally sitting on the other side of the road. It snapped over and landed on Anna Wingington's home, and she tells us that she knew that the storm was coming and she knew that this tree was going to fall, and the only thing she could do was pray to God, and she's thankful that her pets made it out safe. Now, she tells us this tree that's sitting in the middle of the road right now, most of it, the part that's in the road, the county is responsible for that, and the rest she has to take care of for herself. But again, little damage on her home from what we know so far. Hopefully they're able to clear this out of the way. She said it could take a few days, but again, this is just some of the damage that we're seeing here in Robertson County, and this is all from the storms, and surveyors still have to come out and assess areas like this to kind of get a better idea of the damage and figure out just exactly what we were up against a few days ago. But for now, live in Springfield, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
So we want to hear from you. What do you know about the severe weather that's come out there over the weekend? Do you believe it's more dangerous than what you have seen over the years? Now, according to around 460 of you who've been voting, it's about 50-50. 50.4% of you say no, another 49.6% of you say yes. So I guess it just depends on who you are and where you live and what you've seen. But if you want to chime in for yourself, you can do so by going to our X account. You can reach us at Fox Nashville.
Right now at 8:32, we have Greg ready to talk about the forecast for the next few days, which is a great improvement from what we've seen here recently. I feel like, Greg, we have spent the last couple of weeks just in a heightened state of alert for severe weather.
Yeah, this certain state of almost discomfort.
Yeah.
Where every week there's one day or two that we're watching, you know it's coming, it gets there, and then do I or don't I have to worry about it when it's active. Now we can be completely comfortable for the rest of this week. It has been several weeks worth of some rough weather that we've had to go through. We've had many Code Red days, and we have seen a lot of rainfall in the last couple of days as well. Code Red is canceled, though. We're going to keep it canceled the entire week. Areas of standing water and ponding now become the thing we have to watch on the roads, and then the areas of some potential flooding, mainly north of I-40 here into far northern Middle Tennessee and into southern Kentucky are the areas where the water is still trying to find its way into the streams and rivers and a lot of our creeks, where we could see that climb a little bit here over the course of today. So if you're in an area that's low-lying or a floodplain, you might be dealing with that by the end of today. Keep that in mind. Calm weather pattern, though, all the way through the end of the week. We had a tornado watch overnight. That's gone. We had showers and storms on the radar overnight. Those are gone. They might have woken you up, though. And they did leave their mark here over the last 24 hours. These are our local storm reports in the last 24 hours. All these circles that we see here that are right in the Nashville area, the light powder blue colored, those are all hail reports. We had some hail the size of golf balls in areas just south of Nashville, think Brentwood area, and just slightly off toward the west. So we're contending with all of the aftermath, but no additional causes for concern. Here's current top of the radar, and we're looking nice and we're looking good to go. Let's take a look here at Future Track, and it will show that we do not really have to worry about much. It wants to put a speck or two of green here later on this afternoon toward the evening. I'm not buying into it. I wouldn't worry about much of anything. If you do get a raindrop, it'll be just that. Not going to last long. We'll look ahead to your 7-day and plan out a good week before we tap the brakes into next weekend and when storms return.
Steer clear traffic at 8:34. Here's a quick look at what we're dealing with out there at I-40 at Spence Lane. This is just to the east of downtown Nashville. We've got something going on there. So heads up, looks like we've got traffic snarled there. Maybe a disabled vehicle square in the middle of the interstate there that could be holding things up. Still trying to get some clarification on exactly what's going on, but there is a slowdown, that is for sure. Anything coming from the east of town like this, you can use Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike as good ways to steer clear. As soon as we get clarification on what's causing the slowdown, we'll be sure to let you know, as we got you covered live through 9.
It's 8:35, and on this Memorial Day, a workout for a cause. Aerial Recovery is a nonprofit group that benefits our veterans and first responders, and they've teamed up with CrossFit East Nashville to honor fallen soldiers with the iconic Murph workout.
Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live in East Nashville this morning at CrossFit East Nashville, and we're talking with Jeremy Locke. He's the co-founder of Aerial Recovery, who has been featured here on Fox 17 News plenty of times, as they do amazing missions around the world. But we're not so much talking about that this morning, Jeremy. We want to talk about the Murph and the amazing legacy that it continues to have.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be out here at CrossFit East Nashville with these amazing owners who've just recognized how important Memorial Day is, and they're being forces for good by incorporating it into their business. So just very blessed to be out here. We have our Heal the Heroes program. We've even had some of our heroes show up and to do the Murph WOD and workout of the day today. And I'm about to get it on here too in about 30 minutes, but it's more than just doing, I'm excited for it. It's more than just doing, the workout, but it's really remembering Michael Murphy and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Yes, and explain, if you will, Jeremy, for folks who might not understand WOD and the workout of the day and the CrossFit terminology, exactly what this workout entails for you and why it is done in the way that it's done. And that would include, for most people who stick to it strictly, involving a 20-pound weighted vest while you do all of this.
Yeah, so Lieutenant Michael Murphy, he was a Navy SEAL, and in our profession, I'm a retired Green Beret, but we had to carry the body armor, right? So they put on the 20-pound weight, and that simulates the body armor, because this would be some of the workouts that we would do when we're deployed. And I love the CrossFit community, because they do those type of workouts that we don't always have gyms when we're overseas and trying to stay fit for our mission. So this workout is an exceptionally challenging one, and you can do it as fast or as slow as you want. So having the atmosphere of CrossFit athletes around you that are pushing each other to go harder, but also when you're doing it in remembrance of somebody who has given their life for our country, you'd have no excuses not to try your best at it. But it starts off with a mile run, and then you have to do 100 pull-ups, you have to do 200 push-ups and 300 air squats, and another mile run after that. So we got the music blaring in the background. We got everybody started off smiling. Not as much smiles as they get into the workout, but the smiles come back afterwards.
Well, and
there at the end.
Having done it myself before, not for time, by the way. I did it at my own pace. I can relate. So, but as you mentioned, Jeremy, just keeping in mind the whole time why you do what you do, and remembering the brave men and women who ultimately gave it all for our freedom. So, Jeremy Locke, thank you for everything you do with Aerial Recovery, and thank you for joining us live this morning.
Thank you for your service as well, good sir. Well, coming up, police say they found 2 suspects pickpocketing in downtown Nashville, but they had a whole scheme going. We're going to tell you what they found in their possession.
Family drama upends a home.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. All right, let's take a live look on Lower Broadway. Nice and quiet now.
Yeah.
Right, busy weekend, of course, but the heart of our tourist district, where hundreds of thousands of people come in every year. And we've been documenting the concerns over crime in downtown Nashville for about the last year or so. Things have really ramped up. And we've just learned that police have now arrested 2 people believed to be professional pickpocketers preying on the crowds in Lower Broadway.
So take a look at who Metro Police have taken in. They say that this is Medelius Fonshenka and Andy Diaz, who were both taken into custody. They're accused of stealing wallets and using stolen credit cards on multiple surveillance cameras. Now, they've admitted to stealing 4 stolen cell phones and 2 wallets, as well as the purse that was in their possession at the time of their arrest. This is according to police. The woman in this case here, you see her on the right-hand side of the screen, says that they have pickpocketed some of those items from people at bars, including Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's bar as well. Detectives have been able to return most of the property, a lot of the wallets and the cell phones so far.
And here we are, 8:43, taking a look at the forecast of calmer times ahead. Right now, we have no rain on the radar, and that will continue for all of your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Next, weathermaker, a few isolated showers and storms can't be ruled out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but nothing nearly as widespread as what we just wrapped up with. We had a really loud thunderstorm complex move through overnight that did give us a few warnings, and we even had 2 tornado warnings overnight. Now, one was in Decatur County, and one was in Franklin County, right along the Alabama state line. But we're done with all that. Get outside, enjoy a little bit of fresh air later today, and it's carefree fresh air. 72 degrees, temperature at 9 a.m. 80 degrees outside in your backyard here later on at noon, and then 83 degrees will be our temperature at 3 p.m. So a good day to get out, maybe get a nice long dog walk in for the first time. Anything that kind of, just stretch the muscles a little bit and enjoy. Coming up in the next check your forecast here, we'll look ahead to the 7-day forecast and a little bit of an almost cooler trend that moves in. How cool will it be? That's coming your way in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic. We have found what the problem is on I-40, very close to Elm Hill Pike. A lot of debris out there after some type of a crash, we believe. We don't see the car anymore, but authorities are out there trying their best to get all the debris out of the way there on the interstate. So this is going to cause a slight slowdown. As a matter of fact, they've stopped traffic altogether now to make sure that everyone remains safe. This is going to cause a bit of a backup back behind it here. Well, it's not there, but we'll get to it here a little bit later. You can take Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike is a good way to steer clear.
And on this Memorial Day, Fox 17 News is sharing the stories of local veterans who are no longer with us. One man's World War II experience in minutes.
The latest styles, designer look.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning, 8:46. Breaking news right now from Chattanooga, our sister station there, giving us a bird's eye view of a fire that has destroyed the clubhouse and the local chapter of the Knights of Pythias. Take a look at the video here.
Wow, this is near Highway 58 on Monday morning. This morning, the Knights of Pythias is a fraternal organization and secret society, we're told. The group has now lost extensive archives as a result of this fire. The Park Lounge there of the Knights of Pythias has, this is one of 8 of them, we are told, across the area, but we are working to learn more. Again, this is from our sister station down in Chattanooga.
The Knights of Pythias established in the 1800s in Washington, D.C., and so as Justin mentioned, they have clubhouses and lodges across the country and 8 in Tennessee. You can see this is right on the river there in Chattanooga. So destruction. They've lost all of their documents there. So as we learn more about what might have caused this, we'll be sure to let you know throughout the course of the day.
We are continuing our Memorial Day coverage this morning about those who have served our country. And that includes Dr. Frank Willard, who died at the age of 104.
Yeah, a lot of people in Clarksville knew him as a friendly family dentist, but he was also a hero in the Battle of the Bulge. Here's Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier.
It is always an unforgettable experience to meet a World War II veteran. When we interviewed Dr. Frank Willard, he was 100% deaf, but that didn't stop him from a lively interview.
Dr. Frank Willard is out on the front porch for his birthday parade.
Happy, happy, happy birthday.
Nearly every greeting is punctuated with a chuckle.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, are you going to help me? I love you.
How many pills is he taking at 104? 1 a day.
Go to bed at night, lay down, sleep good. It's just wonderful. And on all these cards in there, there's about 500, I imagine, I'm getting cards from all over the state of Tennessee.
Willard was a math and science whiz at MTSU when the Army recruited him. He made them a deal. Let me finish up my senior year and I will volunteer. He served as the Artillery Fire Direction Officer for General Patton's Third Army, a critical position in the Battle of the Bulge.
And he was able to make the calculations. He drew out the scale they used for calculating the shells. You know, you've got the elevation and all the different calculations. He was doing those. He was responsible for that, for 22,000 shells fired.
Was he good at it? Put it this way. He went from private to lieutenant colonel in 7 months. Dr. Willard moved on to walking horses and dentistry.
Dr. Willard, Joe Pitts, I was your patient.
Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts remembers being in Dr. Willard's chair as a child.
He had such a wonderful chairside manner. His hands, although large, were gentle. And when you're a kid, you know, you appreciate that.
There is so much meaning that you could put into life.
Ashley Song met Dr. Willard as a high school senior for an essay project. She's here today on her own time as an admirer.
I think his character, his energy, I think he has a lot more life in him at like 104 than most people do, like at half that age.
Dr. Willard is now completely deaf, so we had to write out questions. And although we wanted to talk about the Battle of the Bulge and his advice for a good long life, you must remember, Dr. Willard was a dentist for much longer than he was a soldier.
Whatever is worth doing all is worth doing well.
Whatever. That's good, yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Dr. Willard didn't really want to talk about the war on his 104th birthday. After all, it was not a highlight of his life.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
What he wanted to talk about was his birthday.
Here comes the fire engine.
And the people.
I love you. You're the bestest neighbor.
The wonderful people who came to see him.
I feel good. I've got a wonderful family, wonderful neighbors. Look at all the neighbors around. Look at them. They came to me. Isn't that something?
Dr. Willard lived by a very simple motto he learned in the 3rd grade. Quote, "What is worth doing at all is worth doing well," unquote. Thank you for your service. I will never forget you. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:51 here on this Memorial Day, taking a look at a forecast of peace and calm and quiet going toward the afternoon. Humidity going down for us here. All the things that were of a nuisance or worrisome for the weekend are gone, and they exited very early here this morning. So humidity is not going to be great today, but that will definitely stair-step its way down into the very comfortable category by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's going to feel very nice outside. Loaded with some sunshine, too, most of that time for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but also loaded with pollen back in the atmosphere. You can't win them all. So get back on the allergy meds if you've kind of slacked on that the last couple of days. You're going to notice the pollen counts going up. Let's talk about rainfall. You're going to notice some rivers and streams and creeks getting a little bit higher before they go down. This is just the last 24 hours, but if you add in showers and storms that we had about 28, 29 hours ago, we put down 5 to 6 inches of rainfall in a very short amount of time in these areas that are right along the Kentucky state line, both sides of it, southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee. Keep that in mind. We'll look at your 7-day forecast and all the good things ahead that we can look forward to before we get to 9 o'clock.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. We were dealing with a major problem at I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. We have gotten that out of there. There was a lot of debris out there on the road. Crews they did quick work and were able to get that out of the way. So no more problem here or back behind it. Things are starting to loosen up a little bit here at I-40 at Spence Lane. It'll become much more free flowing. One more reminder, give your fellow drivers out there some grace, especially if you see them with the out-of-town license plates. They don't know where they're going. They're trying to get through the city, but they don't know how it splits off from 24 to 40 to 6. They don't know.
Man.
So give them some space out there as they try to figure it out.
Police make an arrest after a deadly shooting down in Franklin. We'll tell you what we've learned so far and more details about the person you see here on your screen.
Lowe's knows when you need a new appliance today.
8:56 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, a man is now in custody following the deadly shooting that took place on Saturday down in Franklin. Police say that the shooting happened at the McKay's Mill area. So far, no information has been given about the victim. We do know that an 18-year-old is now being charged with criminal homicide and being held on a $150,000 bond.
That's the person you see right here behind us, by the way. Operation Crime and Justice, police have arrested a man charged with spray painting hate messages on Nashville homes after police say he and one other person vandalized several homes. This happened, though, more than a year ago. In fact, we first told you about it in March of last year. 2 people wearing masks seen on Ring doorbell cameras spray painting this home in Sylvan Park. In all, 5 homes vandalized. Metro Police making the arrest overnight of a 19-year-old from Alabama. The second person who was involved still hasn't been found, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
A story out of downtown Nashville in Operation Crime and Justice. 2 people have now been arrested, believed to be professional pickpocketers who were preying on some of the crowds down there in Lower Broadway.
Police tell Fox 17 News that Miletus Fonseca and Andy Diaz both seen stealing wallets and using stolen credit cards on several surveillance cameras around downtown. Fonseca admitted to having 4 stolen cell phones and 2 wallets in her purse when they arrested her. She said she took them from people who had been at Jason Aldean's and Kid Rock's bars. Detectives have since returned the wallets and the cell phones, but as we learn more about whatever these 2 might have been involved with, we'll be sure to keep you posted on air and online at fox17.com.
One last check of your forecast here, and things, look at, there's no red boxes for the first time in forever. Things look really good for the afternoon. You've made it through all the rounds of severe weather that we saw leading into and now out of the weekend. Really, we didn't wrap up shop until about 6 o'clock this morning. Now we'll call it 86 degrees later today, 84 degrees tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday, and 82 on Thursday. All carefree days. We can hopefully dry out a little bit.
Excellent.